North American stock futures back in positive territory this morning, coming off the sharp sell-off we saw yesterday. All three major U.S. markets in negative territory at the end of the day in a big way. In fact, 2.8% for the NASDAQ leading the way. It was tech under pressure right through the entire session. The NASDAQ had its worst day since March yesterday. In fact, the S&P off about 2%, the Dow down about 1.6% at the end of the day. Overall for the month, monthly declines starting to stack up a little bit here, pushing 3% for the NASDAQ and 4.5% for the NASDAQ, 3% for both the Dow and S&P on the month. Fed Chair Powell speaking at a Senate Banking Committee meeting yesterday, saying that inflation could in fact stick around for longer than anticipated. We've seen the 10-year Treasury pop back up to the upside over the past couple of days. Back lower again today, off about 3 basis points. So we'll have a look at that. That in itself lending some support to tech and growth here in the pre-market. We'll talk about Micron, obviously a bit of a miss on their forecast. The actual number is not bad, but the forecast weak for Micron. Lucid shares moving around here. They put out a better than expected production forecast for 22 and 23 and said their first deliveries are going to come next month, in fact, in October. Boeing as well getting an upgrade today from Bernstein, moving around here in the pre-market as well. It's Wednesday, September 29th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Yeah, positive numbers. Good to see after the red that we had on that board yesterday. Lots of red yesterday, obviously. The NASDAQ leading the way here so far, 0.6 back in positive territory. As I said, the U.S. 10-year coming off a little bit today after 2 days to the upside. So tech names and growth stocks getting a bit of a bump here so far. TSX futures here in Toronto pointing to a 0.5% gain. You can see cryptos bouncing back as well, 1 and 2% for Ethereum. It is going to be an interesting day here. Good morning, guys. Wednesday, obviously, we had a big day to the downside yesterday. Is this just a bounce, or what are we looking at here, guys? Because, as we said, some tech trying to lead, which is good to see. But do we see some follow-through? Remains to be seen, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, follow-through is what matters. Welcome to Hump Day. It's an interesting day today, of course. Yeah, we're going to be going to the Jays game a little bit later, and I'm just going to get this out of the way and say they better perform a little bit better than they did last night, because the season is on the line, folks.
Do they serve beer?
Well, I mean, yes, they do.
Okay.
Overpriced beer. But, yeah, look,
it'll better trades today, Neil. Let's start paying for those beers,
It'll
boys.
be a good time. Yeah, we got to trade well today so we can pay for those
Yeah,
beers.
but I brought the jersey. I'm glad that you noticed it there. I tried to slip it on there and show everybody there. It's a Batista jersey, though. So
Jose.
Oh, we got the Neil floss in the background, too. We got the double. Where'd that come from?
That wasn't always.
We'll have to go floss to floss. We'll go back to back there, because I have my flossing shirt. You have yours there, so that's good. Yeah, I like that one right there, actually. Good call there. But anyways, yeah, the Blue Jays tonight against the Yankees. They're now 2 back of them, but 1 back of Boston. And Seattle's there as well. So hopefully it'll be a fun day. And it should be a fun day in the market. I did like a little brush off your shoulder there from yesterday because, look, I mean, the market's going to be back a little bit today. Hopefully we can hold the high, or not hold the highs, hold above water today. And I think that'll be, for me, that's the real test. To not go negative today. We'll see if that can happen. It's starting to get that way, though. When I woke up, it was 1% plus on the NASDAQ and the ES, and now we're only up 0.6 and 0.4. So we'll see where we go from here. But what do you think, Brendan? Red or green today? Let's make a call. Do you think we turn?
I see that look.
Maybe not at the end of the day, but do you think we turn red at one point today?
I had high hopes when I first sat down this morning, like you said, about 1%, but we are heading back to the downside, as you said, in a hurry here. So 0.4, 0.37 here currently for the S&P, guys. So we will see if it's going to be a positive day. I feel like the NASDAQ is going to have to lead, definitely. Before we go too far, let's get over to Valeria and say good morning.
Good morning, guys. Happy trading to you all. I hope this day will bring to you a lot of profitable opportunities. Have fun, and please make sure to like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started here, guys. I was going to pull up a chart of the U.S. 10-year because it seems to be the focus overall. And I think it's worth making the point here this morning that, the actual level not so much the concern. It's the move, in the direction of the move. We got up to 1.56.5, I think it was yesterday. We're back to about 1.5 on the 10-year today. So going to be in focus once again if, as we said, the NASDAQ is going to lead. But I think it's worth mentioning there, guys. The actual number, not so much the concern. It's the direction and the momentum to the upside again for interest rates.
Yeah, and I think that's why, I mean, that's what's going to give you that drag. And I'm sort of with you. Like, I felt pretty good about things when we sat down this morning for getting a bit of a bounce back day, and it's definitely certainly changed. I mean, I looked at a name like Affirm, which would have been poised for a bit of a bounce back. And then you had them starting to sell off of a level twice now at 120. And then I'm looking at Lucid, which has positive news, and that's drifting down about $1 or so. Tesla's been relatively strong. It's pulling back a little bit here, but at least that looks pretty solid. Overall, I think there's a couple of ways to look at the, yields going up in the bond market. And one thing is to consider, we know how strong the overall market has been, but the economy is the other side of it too. And at the end of the day, like, you can have yields going up because of more positive outlook, because the reopen is back in play, and because everyone believes that things are getting closer to back to normal. And yes, that's going to mean that the Fed takes their foot off the pedal a little bit, but at the same time, there is a positive spin on it for the overall economy. And I think that's why, some of the reopen plays have shown a little bit of relative strength. If I look at what's still up 1%, at least I hope it's still up 1%. I was looking like at the CCL. It was an interesting name today, that Regis, which it's heavily shorted stock, but they own a bunch of like First Cuts and all those like health salon companies or hair salon companies, and that could be a bit of a reopen play. You get stocks like Boeing, which is finally catching a bit of a bid. So there are some of these economic, cyclical, and reopen plays that are looking relatively strong, and that's the other end of the coin here. So, we're going to talk a lot about tech because you have to. Oh, come on, market! You got to talk about tech.
What are you saying exactly here?
I'm jinxing the market. I'm trying to sound like there's other places other than tech that could hold up some strength. And then, as we say that, we're below 0.5 on the NASDAQ, and we're continuing to go down.
Yeah.
So why do we even bother trying to talk about how it's not all horrible here? Even if we get a red day today, there are some sort of segments of the economy which I think are going to be okay, at least in the short term. And we'll see. Some of those reopen plays were relatively strong. I was looking at some of them for strength, and everything I just talked about is ticking down again in the last 30 seconds. That was great.
And the one thing that you didn't even mention, of course, was the debt ceiling. I mean, the government's probably going to get downgraded if they can't figure it out from the S&P. I mean, it's happened before. It's not the end of the world, but definitely weighing in on investors' minds right now is what exactly is going on over there. The U.S. running out of money as we speak. So they're going to have to get that figured out, and they're trying to get these bills passed, and that doesn't look very good. And Biden said yesterday something about how he's like, put in the work and try to get this figured out. Like, yeah, maybe that should have been done a little while ago. The S&P 500 right now is dipping into these levels. We talked about it yesterday, and here's what we talked about right now with Neil sending the market plummeting down here. And no, it's not really. It's not really doing anything. The market is trying to bounce there. But there's the NASDAQ going to the downside. I did yesterday. The key for me was Apple closing below 142. And if you check out where it actually closed yesterday, it closed. I know, ridiculously, right at. So here's the final one. Here's the final candle. That's what I'm looking for. 142.12. So we actually didn't. There's the final closing price right there for Apple. 142.12 on the candle, on the green candle. It was below 142 with a minute to go, and then we got above 142. So I think if we're going to use Apple as sort of a gauge here, it's right at this level that I was very concerned about. We didn't wick down to 134 yesterday, so don't worry about that. But there are some levels of concern for me on Apple. We talked about this yesterday. We had that great short into the close yesterday off of 143. Oops, hard to see that, but off of 143 up here, right down into the close. That's what I'm hoping does not happen today. I'm hoping it's the reverse, and we can bounce off some of these levels and close at the highs. So right now, Apple to me is still the bellwether in this market. Let's wait to see where we go on Apple today. Microsoft's still 285 as well.
Just looking at this GUT Holdings, which is JZXN. Neil, you were wondering about this one. So it looks like they've signed a strategic an agreement here with another. This is a Chinese company, obviously, but this has to do with new energy vehicles. It doesn't actually say electric vehicles, but new energy vehicles coming through for 21 and 22 in this agreement. So this JZXN up 13.5%. Following that, ARK, guys, got their, Sean, you were mentioning your shopping list out yesterday. ARK was doing the same, hoarding, according to Reuters. Robinhood, Roku, UiPath, Zoom, Tesla even, all in this pullback. I mean, let's talk about ARKK here because I looked this morning. It's 30% now off the highs as of yesterday and has essentially done nothing since the winter. So
is it 30% off its highs? Oh, yeah, off its highs in February. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 160 there. Look,
you can just pick them if you're.
I know, and I talked about, actually, I think it was with, maybe you were here. I think we maybe had this discussion on the air, or maybe it was after. Yeah, maybe. And it was just like, why would I be picking up UiPath and all these things right now if I can just go into ARK? I mean, we talked about Palantir. I mean, they're buying all the right names as far as I'm concerned. If you want, the growth trade. I mean, Kathy Wood is not picking out any value stocks. That's the whole point of everything. Although I think Palantir, can fit sort of in the middle of there. But Roku, the UiPath, things like that. But there's the 60%, or sorry, the 160 giving us the 30% that Brendan's talking about there off the pullback. So yeah, not looking great for ARK. But hey, a good opportunity. I think their management fee is just south of 2%, so it's not horrible, but you need at least that kind of a return on the year to make any sense of this. The reason why you invest in ARK is so that you can get the mass, buying power that they have there, and you're going to get her mined a little bit, which, I mean, from Tesla fame has been great. Since then, like you mentioned there, Brendan, she's definitely not outperforming any kind of market, and we'll just wait to see. I mean, on the year, like you mentioned here, if we go back to January, so on the year here, ARK, and I hate to say it, but it's 123 as of December, January. That's right in here, 120. I mean, whatever one you want to do, 128 to 123, 24, 25. So let's say it's 127. You're at 112. So you're actually down about 10% on the year so far if you've invested with ARK, and then you just pick any name. I mean, Microsoft or something that's a stable tech name on the year, and you're going to see once the chart loads. Oh yeah, see, it's still showing AM there for NYSE American. You're going to get a little bit of a different return. I can't show it to you once my chart loads up. We'll get that to you. But the point is that I think the fact that she discloses and the ARK team discloses what they buy every single day does give you an advantage to sort of stay away from that ETF. But I like it. I think it's a solid investment maybe at these levels. And if you want to take a shot, I can't blame you to take ARK instead of the Qs.
Yeah, I just look at the monthly on ARK, and it's actually at an interesting level, anywhere from the 107 to 112 area, like we're talking about here. It gets interesting on a consolidation, but you have to keep in mind, in a raising rate environment where we're going to be, this is a long-term outlook, right? So it's one of those where you would almost expect to know that if we get a continuation to the downside, you're going to end up underperforming, and you got to be able to live with that for what you expect to be 5-10 year type of returns, and that's the reason you go into some of those names. That's why you're buying a UiPath. That's why you're buying a Zoom. So we'll certainly see it today. It's actually intriguing, and I think for a lot of people, when you're simplifying things, finding an ETF that fits your goals does make some sense here, and a fund like hers does make some sense. We'll track those individual names because we're a trading show. So I'm looking at Zoom today, and I'm sure Sean will look at UiPath, and there's lots of other names that they hold, which would be interesting to us. Tesla, which they've been selling, has had some relative strength, I want to say, the last couple of days, oddly.
I mean, even if you did pick Tesla or you pick some of those, I mean, come to my screen right now if you could, Lucas or Rob, there, because I loaded up here. This is what I'm talking about. If you just pick the most conservative, honestly, I mean, if there's a more conservative name in the NASDAQ 100 than Microsoft, you tell me what that is, maybe other than Apple. I don't know. I mean, Microsoft doesn't even have too many headwinds like an Apple maybe does as far as regulatory concerns are there. We know that. Anyways, who cares? But look, this is the thing, what I'm getting at here. I don't have to teach people about Microsoft. Hopefully we know about it. Microsoft, 220 January 1st. right? So, and now you're getting a 285 print. You actually printed 300. So, look at this trajectory as opposed to ARC. ARC was, and maybe it will load if I, no. ARC, we just had it if you're just joining us now. ARC was, 123 in January. I mean, just look at the difference in the charts. Right, it's pretty self-explanatory. So I would say that your money's probably a little bit better in the QQQs, but like Neil said, nothing wrong with having exposure in all of these areas. I think it's a good move to start buying if you like some of those names.
Speaking of this environment, guys, it's been an interesting one for companies coming to market. We've had a few interesting IPOs over the past week or so. There's another one that is noteworthy today, familiar name for most likely, which is Warby Parker, the eyeglass retailer, direct-to-consumer eyeglass retailer. You can see coming to market here for $4.5 billion, or a valuation, I should say, of $4.5 billion. So they priced their IPO aftermarket yesterday at $40 for WRBY, a name, as I mentioned, guys, that most people will recognize at least.
I don't recognize. I don't recognize.
Really?
Not I.
I guess I mean I have glasses, obviously. So
yeah.
So Brendan, you tell us, what do you think of them? Because I can't think of a
Brendan, can you go through their
more
filing
poor
and let us-
timing to come out to market than today, except for yesterday. Yesterday would have been worse, but today is a kind of an awkward day to be coming to market.
There's only, I think, two in the greater Toronto area, one right downtown and then one up near Yorkdale, I believe, shopping center up around the 401. I've only been to that one. Didn't buy anything, but there's multiple options, I guess, in this space now. But it's a decently sized company, obviously, in the U.S. I think they have stores elsewhere as well around the globe. But we'll watch WRBY. But overall, I mean, from an IPO sense, it has been an interesting time, at least, to come to market with an IPO.
Yeah. No, certainly, and to the point though, at least an established company, which I mean, I guess they have an online presence, as I very quickly Googled. Like for an established company, that's probably what you want to have. You want to actually have revenues here. You want to have some profits in this market, and there's no chart to show up. And we'll probably have a look at it when it opens up here. I just feel if we're, like I said, we're halfway to, we're up 1% now, we're 0.5% on the NASDAQ. I can't imagine the scenario where things look good for an IPO midday if we're turning negative on the session, right? Like, that's just, it's the kind of thing like new money is going to be able to hold it up. I think that could be a lot of trouble. We'll still have a quick look at it if it does open up, or during Memes and Movers, I'm sure Trader Pratt and Ms. V will look at it if it ends up getting delayed until then. But if you're testing lows, I mean, are people going to be jumping on the bid, or sort of like the day traders, the short-term traders, people looking to swing into things like that? Are they looking to buy something like this if we turn red? And I just can't see any way that that's going to be true. If anything, that just it encourages me to pay for the locates on the off chance that this does open high and then gives you a chance to fade through an obvious level like that 40 even.
Yeah, the most recent IPO that was a big success, of course, was Bros, $32 all the way up to 62. Then I put the stamp of death on it here at 55 and called 48. Now you're down to 44. So I'm going to wait for the same thing to happen there on Warby, where it goes up because everybody's crazy, and then it will just fall right back down. So let's wait to see what happens there. But Bros, Warby, all kind of the same to me. We'll just wait to see. Nothing about the company. It's just you get this exuberance here to the upside where it doubles from its IPO, like 32 up to 62. So I don't think there's anything wrong with getting involved today on this name, especially if it starts to go. So it's WRBY. Definitely on watch it. And there's a name coming up here on the board. And did you know that it's going to be on the upgrade side? But I know
which one you're going to talk about.
I'm going to talk about Squid Game because I actually put the tweet out yesterday. It was actually on my own Instagram and Facebook, so not on the show. So I apologize. But it's gonna be the #1 show ever.
Squid Game.
Squid Game is the #1.
Thing,
hey Maggie, how are you? Good. Yeah, Maggie likes it. Told me. Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned Squid Game to me, but I like Squid Game. I'm only on episode 5. You finished it all in one day.
Damn.
This is what happens. Like when you have kids and stuff, like, I can't
watch one show.
I get like an hour of TV and then I'm like, and then the wife is like nudging me and saying, it's 45 minutes in, like wake up. But anyways, yeah, Squid Game. So Maggie crushed it. I'm only on episode 5, but Squid Game, definitely check it out. It's a great show and very interesting. Some parts to me are a little bit slow, but on that note, Brendan, over at the big screen with Squid Game.
How did we get to upgrades?
Netflix. Yeah, Netflix getting an upgrade today. They also acquired a video game company as well. So we'll talk about Netflix here a little bit. Eli Lilly on the board today. Boeing, and it's worth mentioning Spirit Aerospace. They kind of trade one and the same, obviously, but Boeing and Spirit getting an upgrade today, so we'll talk about that. Oxy down here, energy stocks have been on an amazing tear. Oxy getting an upgrade today. HP, Micron, Morgan Stanley, and that VIPS, VIP Shop, can't get out of its own way still.
So as a Micron, we'll look at Micron. It's actually boring this today, but as a Morgan Stanley shareholder, I will say yesterday it was worth noting that the trading side banks did relatively worse. I think down 2.5% for most of the session. But Eli Lilly, this gets interesting because this could be a name. And again, you can have your shopping list when the market goes down. I think there's certain segments that it's safer to dip into earlier is the best way to put it. And I think that's where some of the healthcare names, I think that's where some of the other cyclical names, like we talked about Caterpillar yesterday, Eli Lilly's getting, anywhere near this 215, 220 level. I think you're absolutely laughing to be buying some more shares into this bad boy. And we're up 2%, right? So there's already, you get the upgrade and there's already relative strength. Again, that's a key sign, right? So if we turn negative today, look for stock that hold lows, look for stocks that stays positive. There was a question, we had a question in the afternoon show, and it was one of the viewers was asking how I got a bottom wick on a couple of stocks in the afternoon for dip buying. And what they really meant was what made you choose those particular stocks. And all it came down to, and this was a really simple answer that I gave him when he PM'd me, was I looked for names that I had support levels drawn in the morning when I was going through my list. These are support levels. And when the market absolutely flushed, what had held, what hadn't broken those levels could still be used at around lunchtime. And that was it. Those were the stocks that I went in to buy because they hadn't broken the support that I thought was there from 8:30. And on a day that's that weak, that's what you want to look for. So if you identify support levels, like you throw out maybe you're looking at 220 on an Eli Lilly, I'm just throwing this out here, and the market turns red and you haven't broken that, well then that could be a reason to get into that one. I'm talking day trade here, but Lilly, great company. I think long term, you're getting a value here, and that's going to start happening in a lot of places.
Yeah, that's where I was going to be looking for value, and I stepped in yesterday to Nike. I thought that was a good value at 146. So we'll find out the same.
Oh, good.
GRI used to be not a tier on support right there. So it's starting to move right now up 24-25%, and this has just really been a sad state of affairs for GRI and for support shareholders because their stocks got twisted and turned around upside down, and it really sucks. I wasn't in it, but this is basically support.com and what it's done since it's turned over to GRI. I believe it was 9-1 or 11-1. I think it was 9-1 on that reversal. So, they were $11. They go up to 99.95 that day, and they're down to $2 again. You got divided by 9, right? So 30 divided by 9 there. So you're at about 3 and change dollars there now for that name. But look at it starting to go here. GRI, 29.50. Let's just check out quickly because I know a lot of you are probably holding something, maybe, hopefully not, but hopefully you are on this kind of a move up. So, again, just looking at a 20-minute chart because daily is not going to do much for us here. We are right at some nice levels on GRI right now. 30. So, a 30 breaks and you get above all this garbage. That's what I really like to see. So I'm going to go long. It's actually 30.50. So on a 30.50 break on GRI, I'm going to step in a little bit here and see if we can't take it, upside. We could run. So let's just wait to see here. 30.50 long on GRI, and then we're going to give that probably about $1 or so. Maybe it actually has to be more than that. Probably about $2 backside there. So we'll see if it takes out 30.50. I'm going to go long on GRI.
One that wasn't on the board there, but worth mentioning here, just saw Dollar Tree, guys, DLTR up in the pre-market here. $2.5 billion they're adding to their share buyback plan. So a couple of positive notes for this one as well. DLTR, 6.25%. That's a decent move here in the pre-market for this stock.
That is a good move for Dollar Tree, and and again, it has a bit of a catalyst, so you're going to care about the catalyst. I would anything that's up today without a catalyst is one of the things I should have said in a caveat. When I said, look, if the market's breaking down and it turns negative, you look for things that hold positively. You want them to have done that without a particular catalyst. I think that's why it bears mentioning here. Dollar Tree, it's not the best looking. But most of the market's going to show you the same thing on the daily. I want to pull back just a little bit here. But it's about a quarter If you break, so getting ahead of myself, if it breaks back up through this 50 period, this 26 level is pretty much exactly 20% off. It's sitting about a quarter down now in front of like a 90 support level, which it's now gapping above. And that's what I'd like to see hold. When you have those like even numbers, I kind of get in love with them. The percentages from high, things like that. So if you're going to hold that 90, that's that quarter that you're taking off from the high here at 120, and then your 50 period is going to give you that 20%. So that gives you a nice little target range if it's able to hold these levels. In some ways, you'd almost want to be dipping down and buying in front of that 90. This is what it looks like on the 15-minute because you have previous resistance right at that same price. I'd almost rather be dip buying as opposed to chasing moves, especially in this market environment. But Dollar Tree, that's another one of these bet on the consumer, bet on the economy, bet on the reopen types of things that you anticipate might be a little bit stronger if the NASDAQ keeps dragging us down. So that theme sort of continues here with the two we try to pick. And candidly, that was wrong about Costco yesterday, but that's a bit more of a high flyer. Like it hadn't had as healthy of a pullback as some of these other names have already put in.
Yeah, I always go back to a name that was rocking and rolling just pre all of this. Like this goes back to sort of your Eli Lilly talk there. And what about Target right now? I mean, everybody loved Target all the way up. I mean, it just rode the 50-period moving average. We did break it back here, obviously, in March of 2021 here. Sorry, February of 2021 there, coming to the downside and touching 170 before ripping to 270. So there is that movement there, straight upside. And now you're basically down below. I just want to look at this 50 period right here. So we dropped down from 186. Maybe I should move this over a bit to help you guys see it. 185, down to 167. That's $20 on 180. And right now, so you're at 250 here. So when we broke it, now you're down to 234. So a little bit more room to go here, I believe. 225 or so. You could start buying up some Target, I believe. I'm in Walmart. I mean, I first got Walmart when it cracked through 100. I didn't sell anything at the top. I mean, Walmart's also pulled back in here off some of these highs, but again, a little bit less dramatic of a move in Walmart. So I think that you can catch a little bit more growth opportunities with Target. So right here, Walmart's also nearing a spot here below the 50 period. I mean, a lot of these names are well below, more below the 50 period than the market. So if you are looking for some value, I think you can find it in some of these retail names, as names like Macy's continue to make new highs, things like that. I mean, why can't Walmart follow? I believe it can.
Let's jump into what else is moving around in the pre-market here this morning. If you're looking for the morning watch list, guys, that's the link where you will find it. All you need is an email address, absolutely free, otherwise to you every single day. We send it out before we come on at 8:30. Number one today is going to be Micron. I mean, it was okay, the report. It was kind of in line with expectations, not a huge miss. It was a miss, but not a huge miss. It was the forecast that was a problem, pointing to supply chain issues. And continued supply chain issues throughout their line as well. So Micron to the downside today.
Yeah, we sort of said this might be a bit of a bellwether.
We're in GREE right now, by the way.
GREE broke hard.
I missed the 30-50 break. Just to tell everybody, I missed the 30-50 break. I look over and my order's pending there. So I just punched in. I just punched in at $30.82. So it rips up into the money there, about a buck and change. A buck and change from the 30-50, but not from where I'm in. So 31.40, the new high here on GREE, and we are in it. So we're in it to win it. But we're not going to hold it too much past 29. So let's see where GREE goes from here. But we're in it. We're going to back test 30.50, get long again, and then give it back to 29. But just want to let people know, I think Micron's going to be a good trade today too.
Yeah, I mean, so it held above that 69 level, and it's worth noting that some of the mid names in the semi space got beaten up worse going into these earnings. And I'll say AMAT and ASML was down, I think, 5% yesterday. So both those names got crushed more than the rest of the others here, including Micron, which reported poor guidance, right? So you might have expected that. I'm not saying that 69 has to be the absolute line in the sand, but that was the support level that were established. It established it back in November, December. It established that just in mid-August as well. And then we did test that after market. And I think that's one of those things when liquidity vacuum comes. When liquidity vacuum comes, you try to think what ends up happening. We just fall right into these levels. Now I know it tried to hold up to 69. That's what I'll be looking for today. If you think this market's turning back red, I kind of expected maybe there'd be off of this pullback, this is up to 71, off of this pullback, that there might be a grind down towards 70, a look at a 70 break, and then a test of 69. And then instead of that, we're essentially barcoding here on Micron. So I anticipated a little bit more weakness going into this, especially with the market having gone from 1% down to 0.5%. I thought there'd be a little bit more weakness in a Micron, especially getting through this 70 level. Instead, we're holding this random 70-35 area, which it does set you up for a couple of things. Like if it breaks that low, you have the 70 to chew through. You have an obvious sort of resistance area at 71, which I want to play off of today. So I'm going to get away from the whole breakdown because I'm not taking a pre-market low break that's right into that 70 even. Don't love that. But I can have a look at that 71 area. It looks key to me. If we get down to 69, I know it wicked below that price in yesterday's action. I still think 69 is going to be that support area. If that gets taken out today and the market goes red, I think that's not going to be good for the semis. And that's when you can start thinking about, the panic, blood in the water stuff. Doesn't have to happen yet. I'm first looking at the rollover at 71. Then you can look for a breakout at 71 if you like. I just think if that happens, that means you're going to get some market positivity, and there's a few other names which I like a lot better for bounce backs today if we're going to be green than Micron.
Must have closed my 20-minute chart. I'll have to open it back up here. Yeah, so just looking at the daily chart there, yeah, I mean, some of those levels Neil talked about are great, so no worries on that one. I'm just worried here that it's, they guide lower, they guide their revenues lower, they guide their EPS lower. They talking about PC making slowing down, chip shipments fall. It's not great rhetoric coming from them, and if they're already guiding all this nonsense lower, and they even said the death wish to me is when they're saying plus or minus is on our notes here, 10 cents below. You can get this all on our watch list tradertv.live, so check that out. But yeah, I'm not in love with the trade today. I'd like to see it if it comes back down into $60, 69, sorry. But we do have, the market trying to hold up here. So, if the market was severely red and starting to head to the downside, then obviously Micron would be one of those names. But I just wonder if it's a little bit, and I don't want to say this is Apple, but I don't want to say it's overdone Micron. But if you look here at the 20-minute chart, we were just 76, 2 days ago, right? And then yesterday was obviously a bad day in the market, and then the earnings come and they get a splash to the downside. So I just wonder if we were up here, then this would make more sense. But I just feel like 10% down now in 2 days seems to be a lot for Micron. So we'll wait to see. I don't think it's the end of the world. If anything, if I look at this chart and I didn't know which company it was, I would say this is close to a buying spot right here. So that's where I am on this. $65 looks like a great long for Micron. You retrace back 50% to this 65. Well, not quite 50%, but to this 65 level. So you drop 30. I guess it's 35% off 95. So this to me looks like a buy here. I'm very, very nervous about shorting in case people are looking to pick up some value. Micron right here could be that play.
All right, let's bring in Arun here. Quickly get a check of the overall market, see what we need to be aware of for the futures today. Arun, we are trying to bounce. What do we need to hold here if this is going to be sustained?
Yeah, so if we're going to keep on going up, yesterday when I was looking at 43.50 to the downside, right? If we got underneath, I was looking at shorts. When I decided to take the shorts off of that, I was using 43.80 as my stop. Well, that 80 level has held overnight, so that is going to be the resistance that I'm still looking at from yesterday as a potential. If I were to go short, that'd be the stop there. So I've kind of got this market stuck between two areas here, 43.55 and 43.80. If we can break below 43.55, I open the idea to shorts being back on the table. For now, though, as long as we hold here around the 16, find some support, I'm going to say longs could come in at the open, but if that 55 goes, then I think the idea of the short would be back on the table. So for now, let's just call it 43.80 up top, 43.55 down below. Anything in the middle is not going to be in play just yet. If we break to the downside, I'd open up some shorts. I'd want to wait for a pop back into the 60s to go for the short, though. If we break 80, then you would just flip the trade, right? You go long just above 80, put the stop at 55, and look towards 4,400 even to the upside. So control your risk. If you decide to take the long, you have about 20 points before you run into resistance. So check your risk-reward ratios if you decide to take that trade. If we break to the downside below 55, you've got 43.20 as your next potential support. It's not, to be fair, it's not even really a support level. It's just a low point that the market did bounce off sharply. So I'll just keep that in mind. It's an area to keep an eye on. If we get the setup and I need to put a level down, I'll just go ahead and use 43.20. I don't want to be forced to use it unwillingly, I guess. But here we are, 43.20 to the downside. 43.55 would need to go for us to start, for me to think negative. If we break to the upside, then longs above 43.80, and then 4400 will be the next checkpoint to the upside with resistance.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. Best of luck today. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Let's continue along here. Boeing, guys. Bernstein, the latest in, I think it's been 3 or 4 over the past week or so, upgrading Boeing. They also upgraded Airbus and Spirit Aerosystems, their supplier, Boeing supplier. Airbus trades over in France, if you're wondering. But Boeing, with a nice look here, 2.7% so far.
Yeah, so the answer to the ageless question is, does Arun have more shirts than Boeing gets upgrades and doesn't really move? I'm actually curious myself, like how many of those shirts does Arun have? It's a legitimate question, right? I mean, I don't know. Does he have 1? Does he have 2? Does he have 3? It's 1. It's just impressive. No,
I would say 1. I don't
yeah, but who knows?
I mean, people are buying multiples of those shirts?
I don't know. He's the only person I've ever seen with that shirt because it's the Arun shirt.
It's the Arun shirt. Yeah.
Boeing is not doing, look, it's really not doing anything. And I'm pointing to the daily chart. I'm purposefully going all the way back to 2020 so you can see the amount of movement that it had when it seemed like it was the almost no-brainer. And it was a fantastic return if you picked it up anywhere on the way up. Like the no-brainer sort of reopened play and the easier way to play travel coming back. But it's been barcoding here for a while, off of a 200 support level. Here's the good news. If you look at the last week, and like I said about the sort of like your cyclical and your reopen plays getting some relative strength, you know, Boeing is trying to break above, and it's had a couple of days of doing this 223.5 level. And this is what it looks like on the 15-minute chart here, right? Like you had that resistance, you had the breakout, of course, you know, then we had the rest of the week happened to us here, and I just got Micron. Wow, okay, so that short in front of 71 happened a lot sooner than I thought. It's 9:06, not even 9:30 yet. So maybe Micron is heading up. We'll see what happens there. But the thing is, you see this level, you try to get above there again at the open, and then the market took over in yesterday's action. Now on news, you're gapping above this 223.50.
Yeah.
So if there's a play that I want to make to the long side, and just take a shot. Like right now, I can use that level on Boeing. And I probably have to give it back to 223 even because Boeing's going to have a bit of a spread, so you have to consider that with your trade. But if we're going to have some strength today in the overall market, I'd rather be making a shot at Boeing, which has that catalyst, which has that level that if it dips down, you know that you can, if it breaks that, fair enough. Maybe you're going to turn red or you're turning some other names there. But I like Boeing in front of this 223. Obviously, the real level is 223.50. I'll try to pick something up closer to the open. As long as you're below 225, the risk to reward looks pretty solid here. Ideally, you're getting something closer to that 223.50, 224. It's a relatively tight stop, but if I have to make a shot at it, this is a level established that it's already broken out from, and then you had it turn into resistance like a day later. Positive news story. I mean, you're probably going to need some help from the market with any long today. That's just the harsh reality. We turn red. I'm not sure what's going to hold up, but I'd rather bet on a cyclical name like a Boeing that has positive news than something random. Tesla just broke down like $3 here. The market do anything? No, nothing.
Tesla, yeah, well, Tesla $3. I mean, not much happening there.
Who's doing nothing?
I own some Ripple here, so I mean, I bought some Ripple back. I mean, a long time ago. I mean, a lot of us bought Ripple here on some SEC nonsense that they're investigating XRP here. So anyways, Ripple's the company. The token is XRP. You're going to see here some news right now. Ripple announces $250 million creator fund looking at NFTs. So we'll find out right here what that's going to mean for Ripple. But congratulations, anybody holding this thing, 91 to 99 right now, looking to break that $100 level there. So you get up to 100, up to $1 there from 99. That's a stop spot right there for Ripple. So if you wanted to look at that, congratulations, anybody there. We've been on Ripple, Ripple's been on this dollar mark before, not even too long ago. We were up to $98 back on September 26th, $98, 98 cents. That'd be nice if it goes up there. But right now, Ripple looking like it wants to make a move. So there's not really any, unless you know of one. I don't know of a Ripple. I'll check. I don't think OTC Market has one. I know they have a Litecoin, they have ETHE, and they have GBTC, but there goes Ripple to the top side. Look, Boeing's the #1 stock on my It's the number one on the sticky note. Doesn't mean it's the number one idea, but I think this is great news. I think a reopen. We've been talking about Boeing for a long time. I'm still long at 212 or 208 or something like that on Boeing, so it's working out. But yeah, it hasn't really moved too much. I think there's a lot here. I think if you break this 228, then you're good to go. We'll have to watch the market today. But there's Boeing yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday. This is March of 2020. Obviously, when we saw the fall from grace due to COVID, and then right here, this is what I was going to get at. We've been bouncing off these levels, and I think that we can hold that. So we're going to watch Boeing today. I'm in Boeing for a long, and I do want to buy any dips here, whether or not that be down here to 220. I don't think we get there, but a 223 maybe on the day's low could happen. I just get nervous that the markets could open up and crash. And if it does, man, then I want to pick up some Boeing like around this 220 area. But for now, I'm going to park some bids low 220s, 221, 221.50, something like that to see if we'd hold this 2050 high of yesterday afternoon.
Chip makers, guys, trying to hold on to some gains here. There's a headline there on AMD, positive so far. They announced this initiative to increase energy efficiency of processors running AI training and high-performance computing. So 0.75, 0.76 here for AMD. Again, trying to hold on to some levels after that decline, to say the least, we saw yesterday for AMD. Let's talk Lucid, guys, because what a move Lucid has had over the past couple of weeks, back in positive territory here. They updated their production for 22 and 23 aftermarket yesterday, and also said, so those dates and production forecasts are actually ahead of schedule, they said, and they also said first deliveries are coming by the end of next month.
Yes, sir. And look, Lucid's had, like you said, Lucid's had a very, very impressive run heading into that 28 level that we talked about, and that it was a wipeout short, and we're both all over this one, and it's a double top there. The lower high at 27, I thought was going to come into play today, candidly. It hasn't yet. And it broke through 27 and got to the quarter mark. So you probably have to give that some room if you were trying to short that level, which I was looking to do, at least when I sat down here today. And now, like I said in the beginning, when I went on that little bit of a talk, and then the market just started going to the downside, and Lucid has been coming off all morning. So 27 to 27.25 was going to be a bit of a fade, sell the news for me on Lucid. If you can't tell where the support is on this stock, well, I don't know, 24 to 24.5 is clearly where it is. I would sit it out. I tried yesterday off the higher support at 25.5, and that failed miserably. So in the market, if it's going to be a down market in the sell the news event, I don't even want to test that level. I'm going with either two levels to the top, which will be that 27 to 27.25 area, which leans into shorting if it pops. And then if it falls all the way back into 24.5, I think that's where I would look to pick up some shares and try and do a dip buy in Lucid Motors. Fantastic story for them. They're getting their production going, which is, it's great. If you look at who actually is getting vehicles out there, there's a long list of new entrants that have not, and then you've got your Teslas and your Fords, your GMs that are actually ahead of the game, and Lucid can join them now. Rivian will be there as well. So Lucid has already made that move, and I think that's why I'm playing the fade the news, just simply because it's come so far. And in this market environment, I kind of feel like putting in a lower high makes a little bit more sense to me than breaking out on a day like today, especially following yesterday. And as I say that, the NASDAQ continues its slide, now only up 0.4%. So it's only falling even further here as we speak. And I mentioned Tesla there just quickly because Tesla was doing absolutely nothing and is starting to fall off a little bit here today. So, I mean, that probably wouldn't help too many things looking at Lucid, but I'm fading that 27 area.
Yeah, I just put a tweet out there, and it's pretty cool because I'm in NBA Top Shot, and now it's going to be NFL. So the NFL is going to get involved now, apparently here in the NFT space. And I actually looked it up because Dapper is the one that sort of runs this whole NFT space here for Top Shot. Every time you want to buy an NFT off of their marketplace, it all runs through Dapper Labs. So this is going to happen again here for the NFL, and I mean, just a great opportunity. I mean, I've made some money on Top Shot. I'm not necessarily, I'm holding a few cool ones, but it definitely hasn't cost any money. I buy the packs. If I get something, I kind of just scalp it, kind of like trading. And I haven't been on the website in a while for sure, but NBA Top Shot's been pretty popular, so there it goes. I just wish there was, let me know in the chat if there's any way to get involved in some of this stuff. I know there's TKAT and a few other NFT plays as well that are out there, even Playboy, things like that. But I don't know, I was looking for Dapper Labs, but it's not a publicly traded company. I bet you they're the next ones for a major IPO would be my call.
All right, let's continue along here. Affirm, guys, also in positive territory today. 4% here in the pre-market. It was Jefferies increasing their price target this time on Affirm to 110 from 82. So another nice bump, or trying to be a nice bump here, 4% as we said, but another one that looks pretty good on the daily time frame.
Yeah, it's look 120. 120 is going to stand out a little bit here for Affirm. And you look for names that if you look for names that are strong and have big pullbacks, which might give you buying opportunities. Affirm certainly, because it's already traveled. Well, I was going to say it's already traveled more than 10%, but it's barely more than 10% from its highs. Along those, Asana was one of those yesterday. That was like 20-something% from its top, and that's going to be worth a look, I think, as well. You get the positive catalyst, the debit card, accepting crypto. There's also the aspect of this, which I kind of feel like is fading away the stronger they get, that they could eventually be acquired, because they're definitely covering their own path. Buy now, pay later is not going anywhere. It's incredibly popular, and I only expect that to continue. I absolutely love Affirm. If you were looking to short it, it would have been off those highs yesterday. I think at this particular point, if you're looking for snapback long ideas, like something that could actually give you a big move here, this is 120, and we're sitting at a 119 right now. You have that break, you give it to 118. It'd be hard for me to imagine on a pure scalp play, a 120 doesn't get you at least 1-to-1 into this 122, 123 with the shot to get to 125. So when I said there'd be names that could maybe snap a little further back if we're going to be positive, put Affirm into that category. Volume isn't huge, but then it isn't always gigantic in the pre-market on this particular name, nor in many others. With only 15 minutes to go, it's getting to that time I feel comfortable putting stop orders in on the more thin stocks, but Affirm through 120 is a shot that I want to take. I'm also in one of these small caps on our list here, NCNA. It is coming back up to a 3 level that I'm shorting in front of. I don't want to hold that one past 3. I'd rather hunt for prices higher. So if you see me come out of that one, it's because I have a tight stop on the initial trade, and I'll look to re-enter it at 9:30.
Well, if I'm going to get a fill, then Neil's going to have a good one, because I'm waiting for 122 on Affirm. I'm just waiting for this little dip to happen and get covered up right there. So I want to see this break up here, 122 and change. So I'm going to wait for 122 on Affirm. And then what we talked about again on the sticky note was exactly what Neil said, man, getting into crypto and then getting the debit card. So if you want to go to my profile, you'll see the kind of notes that I put there. But yeah, I just started out, man, through 122. Affirm can go. We've seen this go before. They have the deal with Amazon, obviously, and now they're starting to release some new products. So I think Affirm's a buy basically on any dip. I mean, if you're lucky enough to get this back to 100, I mean, then the market's going to have to crash. But we're going to wait here for 122 buy on Affirm. I like it a lot. And I know there's some people talking now about, I do want to get to AMC, so we will get to that after, maybe after the next one we talk about. But yeah, the NFT game, yeah, Dolphin, T-Cat there, a few other names, but W-Key. So yeah, I do know some of those names, but I was more looking to see how I get involved in this Top Shot stuff. But I don't think you can. You just have to sit on the sidelines and try to buy that. But yeah, someone asked, how are they doing it? It's basically just highlights. So it's like, that Odell Beckham one-handed catch, is legendary. They'll be probably, and they're signing a deal with the NFL, so they'll be able to, go back in time and find probably when Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll made that great decision to throw it at 1st and goal or whatever on the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl for the last play of the game to give Tom Brady his 5th Super Bowl at that time.
As long as they don't do wide right, I'll be happy.
Oh, they will be doing wide right, my friend. But anyway, so that's the potential there. They still haven't done much on the Top Shot side of things for the NBA. They still haven't gone back and done many Jordan things or things like that. So I think there's just a lot of potential in this. So that's why we talk a little bit about that. But yeah, Ford and Palantir are both going to be on watch today too, guys?
Yeah, right on cue, guys. Let's go to AMC here. They announced aftermarket yesterday, the COO going to step down, Ed Carroll. Planning to leave. It has not been, to say the least, a very pleasant couple of weeks here for AMC. If you remember, we were above 50 not that long ago, all the way back to 37, 36 area today.
Yeah, and I don't, my mother once told me, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I feel like right now, that's kind of where I am with AMC. just on the chart, I mean, like you mentioned there, Brendan, you just go back here to the 17th of September, so a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago, you know, you were $46. Now you're down to 36. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, because it's AMC, we do know that it has the ability to get right back to $43, $44, $45 today. So it does have that option to get back. Unfortunately for me, it is below the 50-period moving average. We are starting to, you know, to break some key levels there. That 37.50 that is trying to hold right now is going to be pretty key as well. So I think, you know, anything back here to 39.40 is probably worth a test on the short side. And then my GRI is going down. We're going to get out at 29.50 or 29 break, which is very, very soon there. It's not a big position in the pre-market, but we will lose on GRI, it looks like. AMC back here. I unfortunately wrote down that I like this 36.50 break. If we break here, then I think we have to see, you know, where the buyers are down here in the low 30s. So I believe there's a test coming. And I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days of red with 2 scattered green days in here and 1 barely even green there on the 24th. So, you know, we'll see if we can cover this up. Would love for it to get covered up and we can get back up here. 42 break long is great, but for right now, I am leaning to the short side and it kills me to say that, but AMC is looking very, very weak. Before I throw it to you, Neil, I know you're going to look at GameStop. Let me just see here. Is there anything on the imbalance locator right now? So Palantir, great flush yesterday. We love that 25 level. We will talk about that. Ford yesterday. I mean, all of these stocks I'm in pretty much. Not all of them, but these 2 big ones here. And CCL I'm looking to get into. But I don't see AMC here and I don't see GameStop on here, Neil. Yeah,
I mean, the only thing I'll say about GameStop is it's been a little bit stronger. At least, look, it's still the same pullback here and maybe the same number of red days.
The market might turn red.
But I'm looking at, the market's getting close, 0.33%, now 1/3%. GameStop still has a 177 that it can put in here before it breaks. And like, you have more like a 178. But if you go all the way back, and my 15 minutes not going to want to do it. On the daily chart, there was a wick down to 177. And it's a higher level here because it's closer to the 50 period, but it's the same sort of thing. Like once that goes, I mean, you've got room, you've got cover down to 160, 150. And these are the levels that are starting to come into play. And if the market continues to hold weakness here, then you can see some of those levels cracks. The buying just hasn't been there. And like Sean said, like the retail buying has not been there in the markets. I want to quickly, if I can, because someone keeps asking me about and the gamer string, when I say stronger, GameStop being stronger.
Thank you,
I'm only talking about relative to AMC in the last couple of weeks, right? So, and again, today it's actually slightly higher. I just want to quickly talk about Moderna. This was a huge missed opportunity for me off that 400 level. It looks like it's a decent chance to retest that today. It was a big flush. First breaking through that 400. I'm looking at essentially the same level again. Like let's see what happens when it gets that 400. I still have the same dip buy. Like it's at 360 to 365, which is the support area. We never got there in yesterday's action. You're already recovering pretty well here, and that's a pretty good sign for Moderna. They just got, I think the FDA saying they're going to recommend potentially half doses for the booster for Moderna. Right now the market's seemingly liking that. Holding up a little bit better than the overall market, which gives you a chance to break that 400. And if we do break out through that level, and I've missed a chance to short that here, I'm looking back to the teens before I would think to step in terms of resistance on Moderna. So I am going to be watching it today, but the real trade-off 400 was with the rest of the market yesterday, and I know I missed it.
I want to talk about Ford quickly. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. We didn't trade it, but it did drop down. It hit that $15 mark and dropped right down here. There's some nice buying opportunities at $14.30. The only problem is the NASDAQ's going, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Are we going to turn red at some point today? We were sort of ho-humming that, but I mean, it doesn't look like anything positive, especially when we get Fed Harker coming out and saying that he looks like tapering. He'd support beginning in November. Yeah, go fly a kite on that one. We'll see if that comes through. But I mean, I don't know if they start tapering sooner, like November. Does this dude realize that it's October right now? So I mean, if they start to taper right now, I don't know where these markets will fall to, and I guess that sort of sparked maybe some of this movement. You can't see. I don't know. I got to change my setup. This setup to the downside right here on the NASDAQ. So I don't know if that's that, but we are getting a little bit of a spike now. So maybe they're changing the tone here, but that's just what I'm reading right now from the Fed. So, and again, it's just one dude. So no idea what's going to happen right here. But to the upside, 1450 on Ford looks pretty damn good. And then Palantir, you can't can't have this hat if you don't talk about it. And Palantir right now, again, what a great drop yesterday at 25, an awesome opportunity to get long. Again, I'm not buying anything, but you are right at these levels on a 1 day here. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than this for me. I mean, 25, we bounced off a bunch of times. So yeah, I do have some bids down the low side now near 25 to see if we do flush on Palantir. We'll pick something up around 25. But realistically, the market's flushing now, but I like to get Palantir back here, like 23.50, something like that. I'm going to be starting to buy next week. So let's get ready to rock and roll on that. But Palantir, low bids. Put some low bids in there near 25. I believe it holds today.
Okay, quickly here. SoFi, guys. I want to mention SoFi. A couple of people talking about it early on this morning, but they are raising some debt once again, $750 million this time in senior notes for, I think it was 2026. So 4.5% here for SoFi. I mean, it's in the wrong group, obviously, for this time, but coming back into some decent levels here for SoFi as well.
Convertible notes offering there, and 16. If you look at the daily chart, 16 is a level that's going to sort of stand out here from that gap, and then previous resistance turning into support. And there was a couple of questions in the chat. I sort of said I'd like to see with any offering, you tend to get this like the drop down, then some barcoding on support. I'd like to see this, see where the support comes in at the open, right? Like if we're testing that 16 level, I want to see if the market's going to accept it and that level can hold first before I would just jump in front of it. So this is not a case where I'd have bids in front of 16. Certainly, I'd rather see it trade in that price area, get some acceptance down there because you've got about 50 pennies lower than that. You got the 50 period and a decent cluster where you'd expect buying to step in. So in the off chance that it does extend a little bit further, I wouldn't be stepping in front of a 16 dip buy. Where I think normally probably would be looking for the dip buy and be sitting on the bid already, if not slightly into position. So I'm sitting it out, just given the market environment, and gonna be a little bit more patient when I think buying the dip on SoFi than I might normally be.
The wife just sending me this. Like, did somebody? I don't know if somebody sent me this or not. Like, I don't know how anybody has my home address, but. Alan Diggs 2020. Like, what is that? I don't know what. This came from New York to my house, so I don't know what this is and how anybody knows. Did it go on? Yeah, there it is there. I don't know what this is. Alan Diggs 2020. I have to find out who that is, but unless this is a joke from Mendel or something like that.
That's fantastic.
From what? It's Josh Allen and Diggs, right?
But I'm just saying, I don't know.
Does
it have a Bills insignia on the back?
I don't know. The wife just sent this to me, so
I'm looking at like. I'll buy that off.
I mean, Josh, no. I have Josh Allen and Diggs in my other pool, which is why I don't know. It must be from one of my friends or something, but we're going to find out what that is. But that's pretty cool. Allen Diggs 2020. I'm going to find out who sent that. But thank you. If it was one of you guys, I don't think it was. But to shout out to Jeff Mendel, maybe. But this should have gone to you because he knows that you're a Buffalo Bills fan. So anyways, we'll move on from that. I just kind of a funny little thing there. So let's go Buffalo Bills.
Yes. All right, quickly, guys, a little one, bottom end of the list here to talk about AUVI. Already kind of showing its hand here. Decent volume still going into the open here to the downside. But if you go to the daily chart here, 950 and then 10 corresponds with this kind of congestion way back months and months ago. So 950 and 10 to the upside. That's 950 and then 10 obviously above that. Any kind of move back into even 875 now is where it actually broke down from here in the pre-market. I will revisit this, but AUVI already fading off nicely, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of moving, I have an area stop on that Micron at 71.25. Someone was asking in the chat there. I just wanted to make sure. I don't like a hard stop on a stock like that this time of day. Lucid's starting to make I was going to say a power move to the upside. It actually went 25 cents, so not that big, but the volume spike was there. So it could be testing that 27. 2 minutes to go till the open. Remember Lucid rolling up production up 8%, but 27 to 27 and a quarter is a big level on Lucid that I want to play the action of. And like I said, I'm not going to be dip buying too early on SoFi, that is, but BBIG, just one for you guys. Vinco Ventures has some interesting levels down here. It gets to the 6 to 625 area. This could be a nice little place. Again, you have only 1 day's worth of action before it bounced up off these levels. It's been retracing for a couple of days in a row. I think Vinco could catch a bit of a bid between 6 and 625.
Lucid 2450 long. We'll find out about what's going on to that one. If it comes back in, Lucid 2450. Someone's giving me hell there because I said the wife, not my wife. I mean, come on.
Well,
I talk about my wife all the time and tweet at her and whatever. So include her all the time. Without her, I would not even be able to survive. So that's that. Okay, so 25.80 coming to the downside. Lucid, I know we talked about it already, but I was looking to get long if it does fall back into this area, 24.50 and change. Nervous about the market today, there's no doubt about that. So we may not get into anything super quick. Let's just check out right here quickly. Cloudera, Ford, FAMI, CCL. I'm not worried about any of these. They're not big enough. Even Ford, 300,000 shares. Like, that's going to be nothing. We've already done 1 million, so there's not too much here. CLDR, I thought this was a buyout. Yeah, so this is going to be coming off, I guess, today at some point. Yeah, Cloudera. So let's wait to see where we rock and roll now as we're getting ready. Only 30 seconds until the open, so this should be a good one.
Oh, forgot about RGS.
And CEI as well.
Regis up 5%. It's a heavily shorted name, and these guys own like all those haircutting chains. Like
yeah.
Right. So it's an interesting recovery play, but it is a bit of a squeeze type play because it is 20% up. So have an eye on that. I'm actually not shorting it, just given when I looked at the daily chart and thought the whole like reopen thing, which I've been mentioning here, it's been barcoding as a chance to break. I'm dropping the countdown because we got 5, 4. Miss V's got the green. We're gonna need it. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it.
She brings and rings the pain. So there we go. So we'll watch out to see what's happening now. We're in GREE. GREE's trying to dip around here, man. $29 and we out of GREE. So let's wait to see if that can come through. But GREE right now, one of the names that we're watching, I'm still long 30.67 with some upside targets. Here goes GREE. Good thing we didn't get out of that one early.
Yeah, agree back to that upside. I'm looking at Lucid here making its pop into that 27 area. You go 26, 65 or so, and then watch out. We're screaming up on Micron, and we have an area stop. It's trading above, but it just rejected 50. So now I'm going to reload, put in the 50 level as my out there, but I might have missed the opportunity on Lucid because it did not come quite close enough to that 27 area to be able to get out of it. And wow, what a dead cat bounce that Micron is making here. So I'm in, I'm out of Micron. I guess the weakness is not there. The market trying to bounce back into the upside. Looks like we missed out. If this is the top on Lucid, like it spiked to 26.60 and then reversed here, I'll be rather upset. But it's trying to come back in now. 27 is the level I like.
Yeah, Palantir not doing anything. We're just looking at all these names here as we go. So we'll wait to see what Palantir wants to do. Hopefully it wants to do good things and go to the upside here, but we're not in this one rate yet. Let's check out. So I'm waiting for some lower lows here on Palantir. The market's starting to go, which is nice. You can see the NASDAQ right here trying to make some moves back to the upside. Boeing, what do we have here? We were looking at
Micron.
Hey, what happened to Boeing at 228? So Boeing straight to the upside, hits that 228 and falls back down a little bit there. So we did talk about that, Neil, that we thought Micron did have a chance to go today, and there it goes. And yes, sir, let's go. Superman is back in the building with GREE. As GREE right now, $1. We already took the dollar right there. $1 in the money now on GREE as it's continuing its move to the upside. So this is going to be a good story so far here today as GREE holds out on that 29, man. We were so close to getting tipped out there, but we did not. So GREE with the runner right now and the winner. So it's the only name I'm involved with right here as Tesla trying to break 780.
Yeah, Tesla's coming down. I just got back into that NCNA, by the way. That broke up. It tested the high, then came right back in. And of course, Lucid, like I said, didn't even give me that entry point. I just got into a firm on the break. Now, remember, this is the name I liked for the break a little bit better. I'm trying to dip buy in Boeing, but I don't want to chase that one too far. So you can see my bid sort of a ways away from there. And this is a firm through that 120. I'm not saying it stood out like a sore thumb. But it stood out like a sore thumb with that 120. And just given how far it had retraced, right? So look for things that had gone more than like 10% from their highs. I just tried to snag some for the quick dollar in the scalp trade. See if we can't get it. I got 120.12 ended up being the average price on the entry point there. Let's see if I can't get some 121s. But it's starting to pull back in a little bit. And this is what happened on Lucid. So I got wicked out of Micron, which has come back in. Lucid absolutely turns on a dime, which I was anticipating, but not close enough to that 27 level. So they did sell the news after a bit of a spike. It just didn't spike quite far enough to get me that entry. And today's not a day that I wanted to chase at the open, as I mentioned. So let's see if I can't catch a little something closer to the current high, 26.75. Not throwing out the pre-market tops, but maybe the 50 level could be actionable.
Yeah, I actually am going to go long 26.50 here on Lucid on a break. So it looks like it's going to break right now. So there we are. So now we're long Lucid. Did it break there? I got long 49, so I don't know how that broke 50, but apparently it did. So we will wait on Lucid right now. We're long right here. So we'll see where it goes. But long Lucid right now, 26.49 on a little bit of a pullback. Not much of one, but it is trying to take that out right now. If we can get up to that 27 like Neil was talking about, then hell yeah on that one. But it looks like for right now, we're going to have to hold out on Lucid. The bottom here, we break out through there. We're going to get out of this one. 26 and change. We'll get out of Lucid if it does break. I mean, we can even use this bottom here, 25.85 for Lucid. So let's watch out for this one. I'm still excited about it. Lucid on a pullback, not great, but we are holding this one. I don't know, man. If I can't be a bear on the market and hold these longs, it's killing me. But Lucid right now, we'll test the long.
Yeah, and that NCNA like got back in when it faded. This is off the pre-market highs, by the way, just showing you. Here's 313, this is 310, right at the open. I like those fade plays, but my entry price initially, right back at 95 that I had before. I'll take another stab, and I'm waiting patiently here because my 95 price isn't fantastic. So if I do add and double up the position or even add a 3x here, it'll probably be around that 305 or at least closer to it. So you got to be patient, I think, in this market. And just as soon as I say, I'm trying to take profit on a firm in that 121 area, it just snaps back into 119. This is the 118. There's no way I'm letting it pass that. I wanted to base that a little bit before I think about doing any dip buying in a firm. But at that breakout, that was a one and done. I had a chance to get quickly in and out, scalp some of it, then be more aggressive buying the dip. So I have to now be passive in buying that dip and wait for a better price. Boeing was the other one that we wanted to be patient with. So the firm actually is going to give me a fill pretty soon. I'm on the bid here in front of that 223.50 area. And Boeing is going to be the tightest stop ever. Well, not ever, but very close to it. Because I don't want to pass that 223. So I can step up and do 224 if I have to, because I intend on putting a tight stop. I just got some more of that NCNA, which we're being patient with. And I definitely missed the boat on that Lucid because, yeah, it's already back to 26 even. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, I know you punched that a firm ticket long. We'll have to wait to see what the market's doing. I was waiting for that 122, so we get a little more, leeway on that. But yeah, the market right now falling back down. We went 1 for 1 on greed, in and then out for flat. So greed turns out not to be a winner. We should take them both out. Doesn't look like it wants to fly. What's up, Brendan?
DLTR, guys. Remember when this was 6.5%? Now, yeah, 9.5% for DLTR, coming up to 95. Huge mover so far.
CCL, yeah, good thing we didn't stamp this long either. I mean, look at this one coming right back in right now. CCL, a lot of these high flyers that were high flyers yesterday appear to be coming right back in today. So, on a one-day chart, we're not going to find much on CCL, but here we go. 25.20, you may get some love here for CCL. So, I don't know, man. We're long Lucid. Thank you, Valeria there. We've got that down pat now. I said that she's got to kind of give me a warning there, and she does that great. Thank you, Miss V. Always on point. Miss V. Okay, 25.20, waiting to see if that can hold. So I think we'll get some CCL here if it does come any lower than this.
Yeah, I'm out of that NCNA again. NCNA again, and a firm takes out that bottom, so we'll have to give it up on a firm. Unfortunately, that one's going to be ugly. Oh, are you kidding me?
Hate your guts.
I just stepped up here in Boeing, a little bit higher up in front of that 225 because it looks relatively strong, and I can't ignore that fact. So I can't wait for 223.50. If we're going to pick something up, the market just bounced a tiny little bit. Worth noting at the ES actually down to 0.2%, so it's a lot closer to red territory than the NASDAQ here. And with Boeing holding up, of course, as I say all this, Boeing is bouncing off 226 and going further, so I might have to wait patiently for this Boeing. I don't want to be chasing it too much more than this, and I'm still going to be buying more shares in front of 223, regardless of how this one plays out. I like that buy in front of 223 even, so we'll keep that one in there. There was that Regis, which at the last second we were able to mention to you guys. I know it didn't make our watch list for a lot of people. For a lot of you, I know you're watching it because it was a gapper this morning. I wanted to be a buyer somewhere in here, but I wanted it to open up and give some real volume. Now that that's happened, I think there's had some support at 435 and 425. So I'll be buying dips on that stock, which I think is squeezable today, if only because of their short interest and then the reopened theme that it has going.
Ooh, I like that, squeezable. What is squeezable today right now, too, is Lucid. As it's starting to go, I don't know if it's going to be a squeeze or not, but Lucid right there, we did pick up some on the bottom there at 27. So I was actually waiting, and it's too bad because it would have been even a way bigger trade. I was waiting at 26.08 or so. Actually, where was my bid exactly? Oh, 26.01. They only went to 26.08, sorry. There it is. Yes, sir. A nice one there, as will the cash cow that is Lucid continues to move upside there. We're long at 26.44 right now, so 30 cents on this one. And still rocking and rolling. So I'm pretty happy with this one. There it goes, 85s now. We just got out more on Lucid. We've layered our offers upside here so we can enjoy some of this move. As Lucid right now looking to take out 27s, man. Yes, sir. 40-cent win on a decent amount of shares here. We've averaged it. So yeah, we're going to be happy with this one. Look at this though, 27, 27, 20. So this is why we talk about it. You got to look backwards to see where we've been before. Take out a little bit more shares here as we approach 27. But a big trade alert for me on Lucid.
and I just got that RGS first fill at 435, and then I said I was waiting for 27, and Lucid finally gives you that look. It's close enough, right? Like,
yeah.
It got to 26.92. I got in there at 90 when it turned around, so that's my dip. Dip in RGS, as you can see here, and our first salvo into Lucid to the short side. You mentioned Tesla there, and I didn't go over to it. It is whippy, but it's holding this 786, and apologies for not mentioning this. That 787 level that I like, look at the 15-minute chart. When this bounced in the afternoon, early in the afternoon, and then later on in the day, it held 786, 787. So that remains resistance on this particular stock. So watch out for Tesla. If the market gets green, 87 would still stand out as a bit of a break. I'm going to scalp some Lucid out if it comes back down to that 50-60 area as we send you to Brendan. What do you got?
SoFi, guys, right back. Here we go, right back to 17. We're trying to get back up here to 17, still one and a half, we'll call it, but well off the lows there, down around that 16-15 area for SoFi.
We did it again, guys. Look at AMD, man. We talked about picking some of that up, 101.50. We grabbed it up to 75. We just took some out for 25 cents right there. So hell yeah, now and close your eyes, hide your wife, hide your kids right now, because that's a nice move there for AMD. We're still holding out for half. Look, yesterday we really took a beating, not a beating, it was my worst stock, but actually it wasn't even that bad. So what I was getting at is that, this can still fall. Let's not get that twisted, that AMD could still come to the downside. We are waiting for 100 to break, so I'm gonna hold out for that, but right there we will scalp a little bit off as that one just ripped up right away into the money as we bottom picked that 101 and change. Also, Palantir, the same kind of thing just happened. I told you that, I said put a bid. Remember, I literally told you guys this, and I don't like to demand things because you don't have to do anything. But we did put a bid down there right at 25.15 or whatever it was, 16. What am I long at here? 2017. And then we got some out there at 23 almost instantly on there. So again, we're going to try to scalp this. We're holding out for this 25 break. Yeah, man, the market right now, we talked about it possibly going red. Yeah, I think it does. It just failed on the upside right there. So we're going to have to be very, very patient with this as the market right now falling down. So let's not hold too many of these longs, guys. On that note, we're out of already 70% of our Lucid trade on the upside, so that's going to be a good one. I've just been emptying it out here in the 70s, so hopefully it can still go, but right now Lucid is in a little bit of trouble here. Not in trouble, but here it goes. Okay, good. I was only saying trouble because we failed at this 27 area a couple times now, so we'll watch out for Lucid, but I'm still pretty happy with everything. Palantir now 8 cents, 10 cents in the money, and AMD struggling right now, but if the market can go, then I like both these positions.
Yeah, and speaking of Lucid, there was a buyer at 75 that was broken. It immediately recovered back to that level, so I covered some of my short there at 90, the 90 short in front of that level. I'm going to hold now through a 26.50 break. I'm showing you CEI because everyone's like, it's booming. This was another name that after yesterday's action, I wanted to be shorting the lower high. It's got a 340 top, it's got a 330 lower high, and then the pre-market high right now is a 330. If you zoom back out here, and I'll do this for your benefit, this is a previous high at 330. So the lower high corresponds with a wick here on the daily chart that it has a previous top. That's why I want to short in front of it here. I picked up some shares at 20s, definitely worth an add. I have not covered any of this RGS just yet. And again, it's trying to get back towards this 450 level, which would be another lower high. If I can maybe grab some out here, I should probably, what am I looking to get towards them out? I'll get on the offer here at 45, take some out, and then continue the pattern of trying to dip by on RGS. So another one of those looks pretty good. Look, CI, again, this is nothing about, a lot of these day trades, I'm not sitting here talking fundamentally about Camber. Guys, I'm playing off of the levels here and momentum because everyone's going to look at that bag holding level to be taking profits. When the stock has been doing this and the market is falling, you don't think people are going to take profit in front of 340 when that's already, 330, which is already a lower high from yesterday's action? I just feel like that's what the sentiment is going to be, and there's going to be some sellers in that range. And I just anticipate that when I jump in at 20 with a 10-cent stop, that there'll be enough sellers to drive it down to that 10 to 15 before it takes out the high. And it's just a simple play on momentum, nothing against Camber.
Yeah, I'm sitting there at the 40 area for that as well. You know who it was? I'm almost sure that was my brother. Almost 100% sure that sent me that Diggs thing because, yeah, he's, I won the pool last year, so that's why. I just went to everybody in my pool. No one knew what it was or knew who sent it. So there it is. But on that note, hell yeah, feeling a little bit like Superman here as Lucid now trying to take out these highs, man. We're sitting at 27 even to see if we could take that out. Palantir, yes, sir. Another one, man, another one. We're doing this today. Today's actually quite a spicy market, man. A little spicy meat the ball as we go here. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
Pal Talk, guys. Big mover past couple of days, just popping back up here. It was halted initially, reopened, but we're making day highs again. PALT 25%.
There's Lucid. There's Lucid. Yeah, hell yeah. Barbecuing up the profits, just like the Bills are barbecuing up Houston this weekend, Neil. Minus 17.
That's the easiest call this week.
Bang!
Easiest
Lucid
call
right
this
now.
week.
I think that's, yeah, I mean, it's minus 2,500 in Vegas, so you got to lay
Put
down
everything on them.
You got to lay down 2,500 to get paid $100. There goes Lucid, though. You don't have to lay down 2,500 to make $100 with us. Hopefully, our our trading is a little more successful than many of your gamblings, because trading is a very, very difficult thing to do sometimes. So there it is, Lucid. Yes, sir. We are. I know. I hope we're making it look a little bit easy here, as Lucid nicely dollar now in the money on Lucid. Too bad we never got that 26. Average in, but we did get a nice average in down here at 26.26. So bye-bye, Lucid. See you later, alligator.
And look, the retail story is going to continue to be good. I'm out of my Lucid. I'll end up basically flat on the stock because we got some out for some profit there. But Dollar Tree is unbelievably strong here. And I'm just, again, I missed out on Boeing like twice here. I'm going to cancel one of those bids because at this point it's starting to run away from me. RGS at least is getting a bit of a run here. We're able to take some out there at that 45. I'm looking for it to break 50. But Dollar Tree is getting close to, I mean, if it gets to $100 on Dollar Tree, this is what 100 looks like on the daily chart. I hate when this happens where a stock that I wanted to find my way in long to or a sector I wanted to be long in turns into an obvious short. But if it gets to $100, it turns into an obvious short for me, unfortunately. I didn't want that to be the way, but that's just how it is. Moderna, it's trying at this 95 level. 95 not the level for me at Moderna. 400 is, guys. So if 95 breaks, I'd be looking for that 400, even giving it to 405, which I did not do yesterday, and I obviously should have. Patience might pay off here in Boeing. But remember, it's coming down in the context of the ES will be red in less than 0.1%, and the NASDAQ as well looking to turn red. So I'm going to back off this first buy, start sticking back to the levels that I like down here, that 223.50. That was in the exuberance when the market was still holding up. Now that it's starting to pull back heavily, I got to think about the dip buy that I like a heck of a lot better on Boeing, which is in front of 223. So if it does fall further, I still like this one for the long side for all the reasons that we stated in the morning before the market opened up here, guys. But you got to be at least a little bit patient. And then speaking of SoFi, which I said I'd be patient in, it's trying to make a move here. I just got BBIG. That was a dip buy in front of 6 even we liked. But SoFi, that got off the schneid, and they seem to like the offering, or at least receiving it well. It is convertible, which makes it a little bit easier to swallow. This 1650 level on a dip could be interesting. This should move on its own. I don't know how much it's going to follow the market. It didn't quite get green, but it's been a nice little power move here in SoFi.
Yeah, power move, powered up. Yeah, I mean, SoFi has been a nightmare for those of us that have held it. And yeah, so hopefully we can, like Neil said, get off the schneid there and get going with SoFi to the upside right now. So we're going to watch out for that. Okay, Lucid still $1. We'll go to Valerian. We'll come back. What up, V?
Hey Sean, Dutch Bros Coffee is up more than 6% today. Could you guys take a look at Bros for us?
I missed the name.
It was Bros, right?
Bros.
Is that what you're talking about?
Oh.
Yeah, short. I just said short
Dutch
right
Bros.
away on Bros, Dutch Bros there. I think it's a short. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right on that one. Let's go over and look at Bros quickly. I believe it's a pay for short. Okay, but before I do that, though, this is what I want to get to. AMD, we're going to take one more stab at this. I mean, I called the market. I mean, when the market was up 1%, called it red. So, and yet I'm sitting here on AMD and just watching this thing just continue to puke downside. We talked about this thing yesterday. We had the question from Sterling Silver in the after show there on the Power Hour show at 3 o'clock about where we thought AMD was going, and I thought it had to test 100 again at some point. So it looks like that's basically doing that right now. We pick up a little bit of a bid there. Our average price 101.14 right now. I may just get some out here if it comes back up to 100. Let's take out a little bit for 15-cent hit, and then see if we can't get it back to the upside. But right now the market looking sick, and AMD even looking sicker than that.
I want to point out sometimes it's good to look at relative strength. Just have a quick look at the chart of Oracle. Notice that it's still at those highs. You're not even going to see a red day on Oracle after yesterday. There are places in tech that you can hide your money, and this is one I'm going to be watching all day long because I have noticed that. CEI is powering through that 330, trying to get to that 340 level.
Okay, perfect.
340 is that's the jailbreak level on CEI. That even I'm reversing at 340. I don't usually reverse, but on that stock I will reverse at 340. Like I said, I did get a dip buy in BBIG. Vinco
Oh hell
Ventures.
yeah!
That wasn't on our watch list, but this is a level at 6 even on Vinco. That's why I like this one basing out down here. Brendo.
Another one to look at here, guys. Hellbiz just popping up on a huge volume spike there, down big time today, 31.5%. In fact, on an offering. So this is, where is it? 2.6 million shares. So heads up on Hellbiz, 2.6 million shares coming to market on an offering at, I think it was $11.50 for HLBZ.
Yeah, you always got to watch out for that. Look at AMD. I mean, I don't know what to hit anymore today. We've just been really on one today, as you can see here now. AMD positive, everything positive today. Lucid a killer, Palantir a killer as well to the upside right now. Palantir starting to go again, man. 31s right now. Another spot to get it out. Let's take advantage of this NASDAQ move up. I don't know if anything just happened there, right there. Branson's Virgin Atlantic delaying IPO, so nothing to do with space, but we'll have a look there as well. As right now starting to go upside. Let's take a little bit more off, man. 50-cent winner on AMD, $1.10 now, and still pushing on Lucid, man. Wow. This is a big move for us on Lucid. So yeah, today is, as Ice Cube would say, today is a good day, guys, as we're continuing to run up to the upside, man. Wow, big time movement today. We are super happy with the way this market's going. Let's go, Palantir, 25.35, man. We actually added this. Hopefully you guys can follow Nightbot right now as they're giving out our some of our Twitters and things like that, right? You can see right here, adding right here. This is an hour ago, so 8:50, adding Palantir off that 25 level. So that's exactly what we did, and now it's at 25.40. Let's go on this one, man. Let's gotta take a piece out. This is crazy. AMC, $1 in the money now as well. Lucid, we just took that out for $1.20. Wow, what a good day, guys.
And by the way, BBIG, I actually added to this one at 615. The bottom here at 606 we're waiting for. I'm now taking some out at those quarters. I reversed in CEI. That just broke that 40 level. So starting to take profit for the first time on BBIG. It just turned green on the day. So that's why I like taking some out in front of 620. If I get 30s and 40s, we'll go ahead and take those as well. Vinco, I might not have made our watch list. And again, not everything's going to be there, but it's been falling for 2 days in a row, and I like that reversal. I see you guys talking about Tesla. Tesla goes right into that 787 level and then tries to reverse to it. Now, keep in mind, the NASDAQ just bounced, now up 0.6%, so you are getting some pep in the step of the overall market. This is the level you want to see consolidate. Of course, this will this was resistance all afternoon. Very, very key level here on Tesla. If it breaks above here, I'd look for like a 90 area to have to break before it's a breakout. Otherwise, it's still a bit of a fade here on Tesla because at the end of the day, this was a big monster level that it held pretty much the entire session because it flushed right at about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, Lucid, big banger right there as we continue to go. Look at Palantir, man. 50s? Are you kidding me right now? Chicken dinner wintertime. We're going to get out another spot here on Palantir as we do break above that 50 level. We'll take another spot right now out on Lucid and just continue to watch this thing go to on Palantir. But look at Lucid, guys. Boom. All the way to the upside, man. 27 and change now on Lucid. And now we're on one because we're all the way up to here, 27.80. We don't have much left, but wow, what a morning this has been, man. AMD, 70 cents now in the money on AMD. Boom. All the way to the upside there. In there, out quickly. We talked about scalping that 25 cents. Average in. Bang to the upside now as the NASDAQ continues to climb, man. We are now above VWAP for AMD. Could possibly take this out if we want to. I think it's worth taking a little bit out as we stopped here at 101.80. So we're going to take one piece out and hold the rest, see if we get a huge flyer today on AMD. But what a good win here. Let's take the 70 cents, put it in our pocket, and see what happens moving forward. Yeah,
I'm just looking for locates on that PALT. One name that, like, if it's not on our watch list, then I'm excused for not having looked at it already for those locates. Worth noting that RGS, it's near the high of the day. So you're likely to see me get flat on that stock. It's got a 460 top. I'm likely to try to get out of it in front of that 460. Play a break on that stock as well, and then also be willing to dip by on RGS. But I'm watching this PALT reject that 7 even and want to quickly see if I can get some locates. Vinco Ventures continues to head to the upside. That's now approaching its pre-market high. I'll take some out in front of that high as well. Tesla starting to get going as well as it looks like it's taking out the top, but PALT was a bit of a late entrant there. Want to make sure we have any locates at all.
Oh man, what a day! Yeah, this day just continues to make moves, man. Big time moves here on the day. So yeah, really happy with where we're trading here as we continue to make moves, man. AMD, are you kidding me right now? 102 on AMD? Are you kidding me? Yeah, as that one just continues to fly. Got to make sure that some of these stop orders don't hit in case we come back in. Palantir, you want to talk? I mean, what? Palantir, we're long at 25.15. This is a one-time killer right here. Straight to the upside goes Palantir. Wow. 25.70. Oh, right at this pre-market level. Probably worth getting some out right now on Palantir as we're just at, sorry, I put the wrong thing in there. We're just at some of these pre-market highs right now. There we go. We'll take it out on Palantir. 567 right there out. So good out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's a good out or not. But out right now on Palantir. We'll see where we're going from here on the way back in. So good move there. Good trade for me. One in and one out there. Well, not one out, but multiple outs. We're still holding it, so really happy with that one. AMD now cracks are like what? AMD above now 102. We talked about the NASDAQ trying to hold out, man, and it's doing it, making moves to the upside. I still think NASDAQ's going to, I don't know. This may be a good selling opportunity, to be honest with you, but we may have missed it because we're waiting for the first, like I said, the first week in October to buy. Maybe yesterday was that flush. So we bought some Nike yesterday. We didn't buy any tech. We'll check back on Nike right now, but wow, couldn't be happier with the way some of these are moving, guys.
Yeah, and we're right back to that 340. We're teetering on CEI, by the way. Tesla's breaking the high, so it's getting towards that 790 level. I just got my first dip into Moderna here because it got close to that 90, so that 400 level, right into 98, putting in a lower high off of 36. So I'll take my first salvo with that particular name. Like I said, I would get out on RGS and ring the register on that one. I just wanted to make sure. And again, this is not to say that you shouldn't always take profits. I just think it's a good idea. If you take a dip buy into a stock like this, which is ridiculously heavily shorted and has been beaten up, the daily chart is disgusting, for lack of a better word. So getting out in front of the pre-market high avoids that potential flush back in, which could happen. But as long as it holds this pre-market low, I'll be dip buying on RGS. That CEI does not want to go past like 41s and 42s, but it is still barcoding up here. So I'm into Moderna. Tesla broke the 87, but did not take out that 90 just yet. But it looks like, there we go. Tesla just broke the 90 level. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. I've got 90.01s there as Tesla is taking out that level. Now, I like that 787, so that gives me an obvious stop at 787. So if it does not continue the break, I'm only risking about $3 here. Tesla does have room to, that magic number. What is that? Oh, with an 8 and ends with 2 zeros. Yeah, 800.
Boom.
What's up?
Lightspeed, guys, getting sold off pretty hard today. LSPD just bouncing off 106 for the second time here on a big volume spike, 4.5%. Spruce Point issuing a strong sell on LSPD today.
Oh, Spruce Point. That's also a Canadian name over there in Canada as well. So over here in Canada, I should say. As you can see, the Blue Jays, we're going to the game tonight. Me, Neil, Brendo, and Gregory. So we're all going to be going and having some good time there. Okay, so there goes a firm. 120 right now. This one, I was still waiting for that 122. I think we'll still do that. Wow. Is it moving upside here? And wow, are our positions going off right now? AMD $1.70 now in the money. Still waiting for this 122 to hit on a firm. So we'll wait for that. But here goes AMD. Beautiful move back here. I can't look at the daily chart on AMD. I forgot about that. Good pickup down there. We were using that $100.50. So lucky to not get tapped out there, like honestly. But yeah, big move to the upside on that one. AMD, bang, right into these pre-market highs right now. So let's see if we take it out. Hey man, if you're real NASDAQ, then let's see a push right now. So that was a good push, but let's see a push through day's high. Look, we're pretty light on it. Let's be perfectly honest. We're in 1, 2, 3 spots, out 1, 2, 3 spots. So we do have that 25% left. This is not a hero trade or anything. We have averaged out of it, obviously, as you can see, but right now looking for an out on that name. And Palantir again, yeah, we took that out right there into pre-market highs. And again, this name we're holding 10% as well. I'm generally, just by nature, very, very bullish. But today and yesterday, we were red. We did put on our hat. I think Lucid's been one of my #1 stocks over the last little while because we shorted it. That day it popped to 28. Then we longed it that day. It went down to 23. And then now today, man, $26 all the way to the upside to 28 and change. We'll see. We're still holding a small piece. But yeah, we did that work, man. We went back and saw this level right here. 28, 27.80 and change, right? Hits it, bang to the downside. There it goes. Nice little move up. We should have took more out, but we got some at 27.50. If we retest here, we'll get it out. But hey, I'm going to hold Lucid, see where we go from here. But what a big day. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it.
Somebody's asking in the chat here, what about Adobe?
I missed CEI by like 2
pennies. There's going to be obvious, there's going to be a lot of dip buys and a lot of obvious stocks that you're going to like for dip buying. And is Adobe a good stock to start nibbling into? Look, I still think the market has some ways to head down. I think that can definitely be true. But I said, anything that's already put in a sizable retracement that you like, and sizable, yeah, you're well over a 10% retracement here. So I would definitely sanction picking up some Adobe, which I know is holding just positive on the session, but I'm looking for some levels on the daily. 550 is going to stand out as a little bit better. It's just not a great looking chart in terms of where to catch it. You can always look for breakouts on a stock like this, like 590 is going to stand out as a bit of a breaker. We'll see what happens with it, but Adobe, I would certainly put that in the category of, yes, it has fallen enough that you can start early on a name like that in terms of anticipating a bit of a dip buy. Just coming back over to, oh yeah, the PALT. That's trying to take the top off on me here. We did pay for the shorts. They were, I would say, very inexpensive given the fact that I had to go pay for the shorts here. But it tried to take at that 7/4. The second it failed at 7/4, 724 the high, I added to my position on the way down. I will cover some in front of VWAP here just because I always feel like when you're counter trend, you want to make sure you're taking profit, and then definitely take another leg out in front of this 660 area and then see what happens. It's halted once to the upside. It could certainly do so again. That's why my stop is going to be at that high of the day. In addition to that, I always take profit on these. Even if it flushes, I know it could definitely halt down. I want to take advantage of any big red candle that comes in and cover some of that position. I do not want to get trapped in a halt on PALT.
It's a trap.
A little bit too illiquid for me because of the low float.
I screwed up CEI. I thought I was going to be short CEI because I did have an offer out here at 40, but then I realized we don't have any pay for shorts. So I got them at the pre-market, and so we got the pay for shorts in the pre-market, but we didn't put the order back out there. So I still do like this short here on CEI. It's embarrassing because it was 39. I have the canceled order in my account right now showing can't short 39, no shortable shares. So I went over there, paid for them, and didn't get it. So I mean, 39 is probably too high, but anyways, if CEI does come back, it's a missed opportunity because I thought when I saw people mentioning CEI on there, I was like, oh my God, I should be short. I went over there and I'm not short. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. Look, we have so much more to talk about. I mean, I hear you guys talking about DATs. We will get over to that, but right now we have to get over to Brendan or else Neil and I both get fired.
If that's above.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. All-time highs, by the way, for DATs today. S&P 500, nicely positive. As you can see, 0.66 for the S&P, 0.55. It's the NASDAQ leading the way, as we've seen. The composite and the 100, both about 1% to the upside. The Russell struggling a little bit. We did come off the lows there, so we're trying to get back to positive on small caps as well. They have been very, very strong over the past week or so. The TSX here in Toronto, 0.4% to the upside on a bounce back in some mining stocks. A few things we were looking at in the pre-market here. Firm tested higher, came all the way back to where we ended the day yesterday. It's trying to get back to, well, break even for the day, obviously positive still. Boeing as well, taking the top off as we speak here on decent volume. So a nice look for Boeing off of 225 this morning, guys. Back over to you.
Ooh, what?
I just missed that point. I want to get to DATs very, very quickly. I covered
Boeing.
some Moderna and then want to reload if it retests that high again. But DATS, this is one that we had off of a 1250 short, and then we missed the breakout despite all morning long saying it's a break at 1250. I did cancel that order when it got down to 11 because it was too far away from the bottom. Then you break this high at 15. The fact that it's smacked down here, and I'm talking like smackdown off of that little bit of a breakout, because look what happens. Like, this is just 15 goes right up to 1575 and then just gets absolutely crushed. If this gets back below 1450, you could see a possible retest of not just 1350 but that 1250, and 1250 is going to be a monster level if it ever gets there again, guys. You can't write that one off. I'm going to sit here and, of course, long Tesla and short Moderna. You could be in a spot. I know they're not necessarily related, but the way that this market's been going, the chances of them both working is going to be slim. So I'm stopped out of Tesla, while Moderna looks like we got that one nicely. I'm watching that rejection on DATS up at that high. And then if it gets up to the top again, I'm going to look for that short. PALT, I did mention that I was going to be on the bid to take advantage of any moves that it had down. Got one in front of VWAP here, adjusted my stop. Looks like it's consolidating lower. I might toss another bid somewhere in the 65 to 70 range just to take a few more profits out there if it does break not the current low of the day, but the current support level at 675.
Oh, hells to the yes. We'll go dap it up on this one, guys. CEI, like I just talked about this order. And so there it is, man. Out, like we just got 38 short and it just tanked to 30s. We got 31s. We got 30s. We got another bid. Boom, 29s, 28s. Let's go, CEI. Wow, what kind of a day is this really that's happening right now as the Bears come just rifling in on this thing. 28s we just got, 27s. Like we just put this order in. I just went on a rant about CEI, guys. I love to look at that. I'd love to look at everything for you guys. But honestly, right now, when the money's flowing in the way it is on some of these names, man, I have to stay here. So CEI right now down. Let's just keep getting some out if we can here. 24s, 25s. Wow, this stock off right now. I'm going to take advantage of this. I didn't think that we'd be down here this much. So wow, bang, bang, bang. This has just been such a monster day for us here, I should say, on the show. So wow, CEI, what a short rate there. Wow, 21s. This thing is crack-a-lacking. We are almost out again. We have 25% left. So we're going to hold to see where we go on this one. But wow, CEI right back down there. Good trade there on CEI. It could still go back up. I mean, we're just straight scalping this. I love this name. Huge volume, huge opportunities. But let's take advantage of that before this thing runs right back up. I remember yesterday I was celebrating the short and then it ripped up and I had to go long on the break of $3. So right now, that's why we're emptying it out of 75%. And right there, man, that's a good trade for me. This is what's happening today. I just feel like it's just been such a good day. I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, CEI was disgusting for me because, it broke that 340 support. I was short in front of it when it broke that 340, so I'm all out of that bad boy. I just got, and this is a violent dip back into the RGS, so I traded with at least a little bit of caution, but the first dip we got 435s, and that was a good one. And then the next dip we just got here was right to this 438 level, and it looks like it's holding up. So if we ever get a buy and it's at bottom, I kind of want to add to it here. I can maybe trim some if it breaks that 35 level, but let's see what happens. RGS was I said it was a squeezable name, but remember I said take the profit out in front of that pre-market high just in case it doesn't break for you. If it doesn't break for you, this thing could come all the way back down to that 420 level because this is what the daily chart looks like on it. Like, it's just that simple, guys. So when something is that weak, you take your profits. If it takes out the top, you can always get back in when it takes out that top level. Speaking of things that take out the top, PALT didn't, you don't want the daily chart. PLT has still not taken out that high. I am now going to actually put a bid in front of that 675 level again, just because it's holding a higher low at 7 even, so there are enough buyers up here trying to hold this stock to the upside, so I want to make sure that I'm grabbing some profits. You can't hold everything for the whole price, which is back at 620, although I do want to have some on board. If this absolutely craters, I want to have some shares on board if it comes all the way back down to that whole price, which was at 620 even. My short's up here at 712. My stop is at the high of the day. Pretty plain and simple when it comes to that. Moderna is still barcoding at the high here. I took one leg out when it got to 94s, but there's been no bounce. That's a good sign for the short, but it's also not falling any further. So Moderna holding up rather nicely. If it does break 94, I think we're headed back down towards those low. Well, it goes without saying because I'm holding the short, but it has to get on its horse pretty soon. Otherwise, I don't want to take any more shares unless it's off the high of the day. Forget about that lower high at 96 that we currently have.
Yeah, I'm looking at AMD here to get out if it breaks through 102. So we'll do that. We'll have to enjoy this if it does break through 102. Got to watch out for this market. Maybe it just keeps going. I don't know. 102 and change though. A decent out for me on AMD in case this market does crash. What you got, Brendan?
Clean Spark, guys. CLSK having quite the day here. I was just checking. There was a corporate update yesterday on their portfolio and what they're working on, but I don't see anything significant here. But 15% straight higher for CLSK. I saw Blink had another deal as well for some charging stations, but Clean Spark on the move.
Blink, Lucid. We have an EV thing here that we're going to unplug ourselves with because right now we are plugged in, man, to the market these last couple of days. I'm up already more today than I was up yesterday for the whole day. So, it's been a good one for me today. As you guys can see, we don't have any missteps here. Just to review, AMD, long off these bottoms. We called this. These are all on the sticky notes. CEI, man, I can't do anything better than this. Thank you for the kind words on the chat about this trade, guys. And look, I mean, normally when you make a trade, you don't go, and so excited like I am. This part of this is entertainment, I hope, for you guys anyways, and I apologize if it's not. Lucid, okay, so the one negative stock we do have today is GREE, and it's barely negative. It's in here, it's out there at the high. Now GREE's starting to go again, so wow, bye-bye GREE. See ya GREE. I hope you're long on this one, Neil.
No chance.
Yeah, no chance. Yeah, I wish I was right here on this $30.50. That's the play that we had the first time. And unfortunately, it does dip down to that $29.50. We were bouncing off, $29. We were bouncing off $29 so much there that I had to put the stop to get out. So that does put us negative on the stock. So hey, trying to be as honest as we can. Palantir, I mean, another one today, bang to the upside there. We don't have too many trades today, just these ones. And then Lucid, wow, Lucid still taking out the top. And CEI, man, still near its bottoms here. We have, I think I have a bid here. Yeah, I have a bid right at VWAP, a little bit below VWAP here at 16. So we'll see if we get out some more there at 16. And we did take a Boeing long, breaking through 228.50 just now. So I don't know. This is the level that we like. This was on our board before. So hopefully this will be one that we like. But right now, Boeing trying to take out the tops, and it's doing that. So we're long 228.50. Let's get some out at 229, and then we'll see where we roll from there. But so far, so good here.
I mean, yeah, you guys know me. Like, am I long and green? Nah. I'm short in front of 32 here. Like, this is just 1, 2, 3 times testing this level. You have an even dollar stop. So I shorted it at 31.65. I was able to get some down here out at the 20s, and then it stops out at 32 even. So overall, like I said, it'll end up being a mixed bag for me. But if I see a parabolic move like that, and then you get right off of that previous high, you have an even dollar level, and you have a previous high at 31.75, I'm going to take that shot pretty much 10 times out of 10, so long as I have the locates. In this case, I did have the locates. You go to the daily chart. No, let's go to the 15 is probably going to, the 15 is going to show us a little bit better. Above here, you've got 33 even. So the reason the tight stop at 32 is because I'm not holding short at 31.5 all the way to 33. To me, that seems a little bit reckless. So I'll get away from the trade, get back in if we come to that 33 level, and then see what happens. A couple of names which are sort of working out here. That PALT is still trying to grind to the downside. This is on the 15-minute. I should have bids actually in front of 620. I'll probably rectify that, but it's now broken 7 even, so it continues to fall. RGS, Regis, I don't think it's going to squeeze today. I should get that out of the way first. When I called it squeezable, it's not because it's like cuddly or anything. It's just it has a 20% short interest and has been absolutely barcoding with one of the ugliest daily charts that you can imagine, so the street doesn't like it. That goes without saying. They are a bit of a reopen play. But I'm going to get out some shares here at 45, just like I did last time. I'm going to get some shares out here in front of 55, just like I did last time. And I'm going to get flat in front of the high of the day, just like I did last time. So buying the dip, I almost want to be more aggressive, maybe even pop an offer here in front of that 450 level as well. Just because the more times it tests, you can buy the dip, that's fine, it's a higher low. But the more times it tests this high without breaking, the more it's likely to revert to its ways of just sort of falling down and going to its grave. That's what the stock has done in the past. And look, it'll still be an interesting one. I kind of want to do some diligence on this name to kind of look at the fundamentals. It's a weird thing to say, but to look at the fundamentals, because if you think that we're getting over the hump and case numbers are coming down and the reopen is going to be good, well, then more people are going to go get their hair cut. And and that's the business that they're in. It's logical to me, but I have to believe that there is something that's clearly holding this thing from rallying at this particular point, because you'd feel like it would have made a move already. So there's probably more to it than that. That's why for the day trade, I like it, and I like it at these levels, and it's worked. But for the long term, I'd have to do some more diligence on Regis here. Brendo?
Just saw OPTT, another clean energy name just popping up here, Ocean Power. There was a big move that happened last hour of the day yesterday, back to 250. So trying to take out the highs here. Today, 3.7 on volume for OPTT.
Okay, so Carnival, big dump here early. We're going to take a long here if we break about this high right here, 26.11, 26.10 or so. Looks like we're going to get into Carnival right now. So Carnival Cruise, we do stamp a buy on this one right here. So let's see what happens if it does, has to take out 10. So, and then we'll get long. So there we go. So there it is. So instantly into that position right now on the long side of CCL. So we'll wait to see where that one goes. But so far, so good on everything today. Just an update on CEI. It does drop back down. We did take that out at 20 there, right at VWAP. We were waiting for 16s, believe it or not. Look where it ticked down to 17. So I said enough of that, and I bought the 20s when we went back to the upside. So we're still in it, but just a little update on that. Okay, AMD, unfortunately there, we don't have the maximum winner, but AMD. I mean, my number one stock today is going to be Lucid by far, and then CEI because I use big boy shares on CEI there. But we'll wait there. AMD comes out. Good trade for us on AMD. Though, you know, the problem was it's not as great. We should have took some more out up there. We gave back 70 cents on that one. We're going to try to get out some Boeing here as well. Boeing long what am I long at here? 228.50. So you know, now only a dime in the money, but that's nothing. We're going to hope to get some 229 action. You know, we've stopped up here before. Like this was literally right here 2 days ago. We stopped at this level. So this is why we went long, hoping the market could rally like it's been doing. So let's see here. Boeing off Bernstein today. Bernstein getting some nice talk here about their orders and about future deliveries and things like that. And the market's starting to pick up for Boeing. So let's wait to see if they're right on that call. I believe they are. So we're going to hold out on that play right now as well. And then, by the way, look at CCL. I mean, what are we just going to ring the registers on this one? We'll wait till we go. But here's CCL through again. Nice little 7-8 cents here. We'll take out a piece and then see if CCL wants to go.
Yeah, just got a quick fill there on in front of 650 on PALT. That one continues its rollover. So we grab that one. We like holding on to it, and I'm still going to shoot for that halt price. Remember, it halted at looks like 622. So I'll probably jump in front of the quarters if this goes any further. And look, it's not to say that it always stops at those halt prices, but once a stock is in that range, if I'm taking it after that first halt and a short off the high, I'm almost always covering it back at that halt price. So that's why we want to get out of that one. We're going to hang on to Moderna here. A lot of times I'm guilty of getting out of it too early. One of the reasons why I'll always take some out at VWAP. Every single time if I'm shorting off a lower high, and that's again in front of my level, so it's not 400, 98 was the top, and I'm shorting the lower high here, so that's too much cover to 4, not to start scalping it, but you better believe it, with the market still holding up and looking like it wants to bounce, down here, I'm gonna, you know what? Not even looking the gift horse in the mouth. I'm actually trying to get on the bid here right now. Give me Moderna. I shouldn't celebrate yet. There we go. I'm just going to get out here at 390. I'll go ahead and take the $6 on mRNA. If this was short off of the 400 break, if we'd actually tested this 400 level and snapped back down again, then yes, I'd be looking for 380, you know, the flush, just like you had in yesterday's action. But that's not the way that it played out, guys. So I'm not going to use a Gronk spike. We'll do this one. I missed a trade yesterday, and you can't hunt for the yesterday's move, right? Yesterday was a different market. If you had Moderna buy the you-know-what on the short trade, of course you're holding up for 80s and 75s. This is a totally different trade here today. It's in front of the level that we love. It is not at that level that we like at 400, so you take the profit within the range, which is what I'm going to do. That's my plan of action. I will do that every single chance that I get. That Regis, which, you know, Regis, yeah, of course it's on the New York. The 3-letter symbol, and now I'm typing NASDAQ for it, give me a break. So I did take some shares out at Regis, like I said I would, at 45s and at 50s. I'm sitting on the offer at 55, and I'll be flat if this one takes out the high. At this point, it's giving you the dip buy technically 3 times, because it dipped at the open at 9:30 and held pre-market lows. It then dipped and held consolidation twice. So this is 3 times now that it's giving you the dip buy without breaking the high of the day. I'm not getting into it again. If it breaks this 435, I'm just covering. I'm not even giving it to 425. It's essentially break even or break the top on RGS. Brendo?
We were talking about Netflix, guys, when we saw the upgrades and downgrades this morning. I just saw Netflix is not on the NYSE American Exchange. It's on the NASDAQ. There we go. Just saw Netflix at day highs here as well. So volume coming back in 4% now for Netflix.
Oh, man. I was actually saying, and we talked about Squid Game, and I was actually said to my wife, that I wanted to buy some Netflix and get into that because, again, I just think that no matter what we talk about, Disney, this and that, I mean, Netflix keeps having these bangers. And, I mean, there's another one today and a nice little move to the upside. And talk about having some bangers. I mean, we're kind of feeling like this today with Valeria at the bottom there. Superman, because there goes CCL. We just got out some 23s there on CCL, 22, sorry, on that name off of that 10 long. So that's still starting to work. So is Boeing. CEI is still now, making moves back to the downside there as well. Lucid's $2 in the money, and our Palantir, we've emptied it out, but we're holding out for another one. I mean, look at that, 25.70 right back in to those teeth off that call. So I like it. I like it a lot. But one thing that I'm wondering about right here, and I know we haven't shown, we'll talk about QS. How many? I mean, what am I supposed to do today? We're going to go 5 for 5 in all big trades. So what I'm hoping for today is we can get to 2,000. I mean, right now we have 5,600 people watching and only 1,000 likes. So if you guys can please do this. You may not want to listen to me, and I know what can happen here. We're going to throw over to Valeria, and I think we can get to 2K right now, guys. Please, please hit the like button. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey Sean, and hey guys, it's officially like o'clock. I agree with you, Sean. We have more than 5,000 viewers, so we can easily get to 2,000. So please double check if you turned your thumb to the upside, and please make your positive contribution into the trading community. All we ask you for is to smash the like button. It's free, it takes less than a second, but it's super important to us. So guys, please smash the likes to the upside. Back to you, Sean.
All right, that was 600 likes there in 20 seconds. So I want to say thank you so much to everybody right now. 600, catch that. 700 likes there in 20 seconds. So thank you so much. I guess, hey, when we bring the winners, guys, to you, and hopefully entertainment as well, and education. I mean, that's what we're all about here. Thank you for hitting the likes, and there it is, man. 1.8 now? Wow, Valeria, we are getting to that 2K. Thank you so much, and we'll ask Valeria how her trading is going in a minute as well, see if she's made any moves, but there it is, guys. Thank you so much. It's been this kind of a day for me, and I hope it has been for you as well, and thank you for supporting the show with the likes. Please share, guys. There it is, man. 2K, doubled the likes in a minute there. Good job.
And doubled its move in just a matter of minutes here is MMAT. I see exactly why everyone has been blowing up the chat about this one. This flushed at the open to 6 even. Now the 650 level that's getting taken out right here. You've got to quickly go back, and again, this is going to look like a big level at 640, and you're getting the breakout. But check out this cluster here at about 7 to 712 or so. That's going to be a bit of a line in the sand. I think if this stock tries to break out any higher than this, it's going to run into resistance here. MMAT certainly been a monster one.
2.1.
If you got this one to the long side here, I think it's going to be worth putting a bit of a trail in there. Thank you guys for all of the support. There is a heck of a lot going in this market. And by the way, you're still getting this GREE, which is continuing to try to make monster moves off the high of the day. It's just reversed. That's me. We show real trades here, guys. So I had this to the short side. And I said I said if I got out at 2032, I'd be looking for the 33 level. It goes halfway to 32.50, and there is a short that works. I'd love to be able to say that call is now a monster winner, but I had an out, I took the out, and now you're seeing GREE fall like a rock. I had zero intention of going long the stock today. I was just looking for some places to go short. I might have missed the big one, because when this falls, I mean, it tends to fall a little bit. And that's what the daily chart looks like on GREE since it came to market. Not a pretty one.
It's funny, I put in the chat too, I said both Neil and I negative on GREE, and
one long, one short.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We had completely different ideas on that one. Go figure on that. So GREE continues to make moves, and I think that's part of it. And like I said, man, thank you so much for all the likes. I mean, what a great like run that was, man. 2.2K now. Thank you so much. And I mean, I can keep reviewing the trades that I've had, and I just thankful that we have the viewers that are here watching it with us, because and, you know, like DJ Khaled, there's another one. How about Boeing right there? Hey, if you haven't hit the likes now, hit it again. There's another 50-cent winner. What up, 50? Right there, as it just keeps on going to the upside, man. Go. Curtis Jackson there. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, then shout out to you on this 50-cent winner. It looks like right now we are ready to go over to Brendan, a name that I don't think Neil or I have maybe talked about, but Brendan sure as hell will right now. Let's go small cap recap with Mr. Wickens.
Hey guys, yeah, busy day. Lots to talk about in small cap world. It was not an easy day, in my opinion anyways, for some of these small caps. Very whippy so far. AUVI was one we were talking about just before the open. If you go back to 950.10 and then 1050 was some of these levels from a month or so ago. Never comes into play. 950 is up here, 10 above that, so we just go straight down. As soon as the market opened, took a few shots at that one. Ends up working out pretty well. GOVX was another one, popped up aftermarket yesterday. Gave you 525 and then 560, which were some levels from the aftermarket yesterday. Another one that's just kind of fading. Again, couple shots at that one, both working out pretty well. This one, PALT, Neil was mentioning, he liked the top. Again, I have a VWAP rule that I stick to as best I can. So if I'm going to be short, it has to be below VWAP. This finally does on the breakdown, 680 and then 720 is the top of PALT. I will agree with you. GREE is crazy, super thin, also a negative one for me today, guys.
That's a thing. Like sometimes a stock is just tricky to trade, right? And like you've got to have your own set of rules. And in the same way, look, GREE didn't work, but like PALT, look how close this comes to wicking out. And one of the rules I have is I actually want to see it test that little quarter. Like I don't want to give it to that previous high a day when it sits at that 720. Like I wanted to give it to that 7 quarter. And when you're shorting it first on lower consolidation and the test of that level that fails, you got to have a hard stop. If that goes 3 cents more to the upside, I'm stopped out high a day and watching this thing crater without me. And it's the same thing with GREE. You've got to be, if you're going to go trade counter trend in either direction, right? That could be buying the dip, or it can be shorting a pop on a parabolic mover that you think is not worth what it is. And let's be quite frankly honest, a lot of times that's the case when these things go parabolic. You know, you've got to have it out. And if you make the top wick, you've got to live with it. That is the cost of doing business when you make those trades, guys. So again, GREE, like I said, it's been a frustrating one, if only because there was tons of opportunity on it today and somehow managed to bungle it. I'm still holding PALT, it's 50 cents in the money, but we've already got the profit that we wanted. Starting to turn around is this RGS. So Regis is really starting to pull back in. I thought it had another leg to maybe retest that 455. That has not been the case. If this, it's starting to break down here. I still have a couple of legs that I wanted to get out above here. One was at 55, another one was in front of that high of the day. I might have to cover again in between VWAP and this 55 area. Just sit on the offer here at 50s. If I can catch some 50 outs, I'll go ahead and do that and just have to be a little bit more cautious with this trade. It's clearly not really squeezing. The volume, you guys can't really see the volume. If we go to the other shot there, or maybe I pull this up so you guys can do this, the volume is really starting to taper off on RGS. So I'm not sure it has the wherewithal or the chutzpah, or whatever you want to call it, the momentum to get through that high of the day. So we got to take the profit. The dip buy has worked. The thesis, I think, was okay, but if it doesn't have the follow-through, you can't be stubborn about it. Like, you have to pay attention to the market. And this one, at 10:30, volume is dying like an absolute rock, and that means take the profit where you can. That's just my 2 cents. I did take the profit on Moderna. You're going to watch it break that low of the day, but I stand by that. I will not chase yesterday's move. The market is much stronger than it was yesterday. Moderna did have some positive news. So if you see me dipping early out of this one, I think there's solid reasons to do so. It doesn't mean it can't continue to go down. I think it might catch a bid 75 to 80, although I think in the long term, you're waiting at 360 to 360, sorry, 365, 365 to 360 is probably a better support area on the long term. I'm not done with GREE. In terms of looking for trades. However, I am going to be very, very patient with it because the read wasn't fantastic. Certainly that 33 level is still soundly in play at this particular point, although it looks like maybe it's going to be falling here. And then DATS. If there's a bigger missed opportunity than DATS to the long side, I know we were trading this one in yesterday's action. Probably should have been on this one today. The 1450 break is come and gone. At this particular point, you're looking at it making some fresh highs here. So unless you're going to randomly start sticking it in at even dollar numbers, like 16 for some reverses, 1750, only because the 50s have been big on this stock, there isn't much to do otherwise. Look for a pullback. I think 15 could be support. I'm looking 1750, if only because it had some obvious levels at those 50 levels. And I don't want to touch a 16 break. It's a little too rich for my blood.
Okay, and we're going to start this off right now. We just step back, grab some fruit salad right now. So we'll say, that's the kind of day it's been, man. We're just wearing grab some. It's a grape kind of day right now. Grape and honeydew melon. So stay hydrated, stay refreshed, and stay focused. And that's what we're doing right now as we go and grab some of that. So let's wait to see what happens now with Boeing. We just got out for 50 cents out of 2/3 of that trade. And now we're holding 1/3 to the backside here. It looks like it's trying to fail. So Boeing right now, that's not going to be a great one if it does fail. I mean, we're still long right here. It's no problem. But we don't want to give this all the way back. So, hey, we took 50 cents there. You break through 228, we're going to get out of this one. So it'll be a small winner because that is a 2/3 out. So right there you go right there. We're still watching that. Yeah, our out on AMD, not good, 102, as that comes to the downside as well. Lucid, we didn't have an out on this one, but again, we've emptied out the majority of our shares on there, so we're waiting for that. And then CCL back in, so a nice win there. It's right back to where we got it. The momentum's starting to die off on some of these trades. So yeah, I'm thinking myself right now about possibly looking at the short, at the shorts on some of these names. So that's something that I'm looking at right here on whatever we're looking at. So I'm going to get out of some CCL now. It's been a big day for us. The money just keeps on flowing in, but we got to find some new opportunities. We can't just rest on the trades that we've made so far. Apple up 1.78% today. So just like we said yesterday, Apple doesn't even close below that 142. It does come close, but there's a barometer right there. I was waiting for a little bit lower to start buying Apple. Unfortunately, it's right here. I mean, if you're waiting for lower than yesterday, I am crazy to do that. Should have stepped in and bought it, but we didn't. So right now we'll have to wait for Apple, maybe making some moves here, but a nice move back on Apple. A break of 145 is a nice one. So we'll wait to see if that does happen. But I think we just heard Brendan.
Go, guys. Remember yesterday, big mover yesterday up here, just popping up on a volume scanner, but this thing went from 12 all the way up to about 17.5 yesterday. So watch out for Go trying to make some moves.
And yes, I see someone saying that DATS is ridiculous. DATS is absolutely ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous? And relentless is the better word, not ridiculous, because Dollar Tree is a good company. And the theme, it's embarrassing to have the theme that I had in my head today about what would be the better recovery plays or bounce plays, and then not executing on Dollar Tree of all places. So they had positive news, of course. This is now that 100 level. So I did say this before, like you can't, just because you liked a theme to the long side or maybe missed out on a long side trade, you can't let that bias get ahead of you. It's now at 15% and it's barcoding off of 100. So I said if it got to 100, this would be a short for me. The market is slowing down, although the ES is catching up to the NASDAQ here. So keep that in the back of your mind as the ES gets to a key 4380 level at the same time as Dollar Tree rounds out to this 100 level. I'm going to take a shot at 100. The current high is at 99.43. So when I dip into this here, it's going to be for smaller shares, and I want to give myself room to add. That's basically the best way to put it. Like I'm not going to cover if it breaks the current high at 99.43, nor am I going to cover if it breaks 99.50, rounding it up to the nearest even. What I am willing to do is if it breaks that 50 level, gets to 100, and then turns around off that, then I want to have the wherewithal, the ability to add to the position, because then it would have failed at that round 100. Now I'm going to expose myself to the idea that if it flushes here, I can profit by it at 98 and then back into 97 at VWAP, but I don't want to be all in when essentially I'm shorting 99.25. And the real level is that psychological 100 level. But I can't ignore the fact that it's barcoding at 10:30, which is exactly when volume starts to die down. You're seeing volume die here, at least I can show you. You're seeing volume die down the same way it scared me in RGS, and I do want to cover that. It's dying down. That's why I like it for a bit of a turnaround here, and the market's getting to a key level as well. That doesn't hurt because this is not trading some random small cap. This is Dollar Tree. If the market makes a harsh move, it's going to go with it. And by the way, I covered that PALT. It stopped out. And why I always, and I say always, under no circumstances will I ever sit trying to hit a home run in a short in something like a PALT without a stop order.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why. No matter what, I don't care how far it's gone in the money or how happy you are with the trade, have a stop in on one of these stocks that's showing you can halt. Because this is me stopping out at the high, and it'll be a positive trade, obviously, because it did flush to 650. It's now halted to the upside. Right, so it's at 750. I could throw the entire day away by simply not having a stop order here and then be caught in this short at like 712, and then the thing is sitting here at 750 and opens up at $8, guys. So always have a stop if you're trading something that has enough lack of liquidity that proves that it could halt on you guys. So there you are. PLT should be a volatility halt, means it opens up in 4 minutes. Before that happens, you're going to Brendan, another strong stock up there.
It is 10:30, guys. Coming up in 15 minutes. Great guest coming through once again today. Gold Royalty Corporation, David Garofalo, CEO. He wears a lot of hats. He's going to tell us about not only Gold Royalty Corporation, but the royalty business in precious metals a little bit as well for those who are maybe not familiar. So that's coming up in 15 minutes. Before we get to that, let's get a check of how things in Europe are shaping up, Miss V.
Hey Brandon, European markets are also positive today. Royal Mail trading in London is down more than 7% after UBS downgraded the stock to sell from buy. Back to you.
Yeah, trying, guys, trying to hold on to some gains here. But here comes the market again, back to the downside.
Well, I mean,
Yep.
I don't want, I never want the market to go down, but
We just talked about it going down a couple seconds ago, and we're looking
I'm
for
still on
shorts.
PLT. Sorry, I still have the PLT. But then again, like that's one of the reasons why I like that Dollar Tree trade before it got to 100, right? Like it was because the market was getting to a key level and looking like it could turn around. Of course, Dollar Tree is so strong, you know, the profit taking could come a little bit later. But I got to think in the back of my mind after what happened yesterday, like 15% up, no one's taking profit on Dollar Trees at barcodes here. We'll see what happens. But I should already be on the bid. I just finished saying get some shares out in front of 98 and then some shares out in front of VWAP at 97. Then I didn't have any bids. So I'll throw a bid there. I want to be all over that PALT when it reopens for a possible trade. And then I'm not, like I said, we're not done with GREE. But GREE might be done with me, as it doesn't look like it's testing that 33 level. One stock I for sure will not chase, right? Like anytime you miss out on something like this, a short like this GREE, it's easy to chase the profits that could have been. I will try not to do that because somehow we're 0 for 3 on GREE when it gave a great breakout trade, gave a great short trade, and somehow managed not to be profitable on it. It just feels like it might be the dirty one of the day.
That was a good grape. Yeah, these green grapes are really nice. Thank you, Russell Jackson, right there. We'll do a backflip for that. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I double-checked. I think we have a perfect day, a perfect month so far, and we only have a couple losses in August. Well, I'll double-check that as well. But thank you so much, man. Even on red days, you just got to sort of switch up your game sometimes. And, you know, today's been working, man, even on a red day. I mean, yesterday was a red day. Today's a green day. But we've had some nice ones today for sure. There's Palantir. We just pick it up on the low side there. Hits 13s. We take it. Palantir coming back down in. So this is a name that we are obviously nervous about as the market falls down. But we do have a nice level of 25. This is a 20-minute chart. You know, battle back to 25.60 yesterday. Some nice dips. If it loads, you can see 26. It's back here more. So maybe we have to go on a daily chart here for Palantir. That's not a daily chart. That's a 1-minute chart. Here it is right here. So the 50-period moving average is at 24.77. I'm not going to let it get there. So a break of 25, and we will regroup here with Palantir because, again, I'm a bear on this market currently. So I don't want to go too long, but if we can battle back, we'll do the same thing that we always do on Palantir. If we get back in the 20s, man, we'll rinse and repeat this one as we are now long Palantir 13. So, hey, if we can scalp it out a little bit just like this and hold the rest for this moonshot, then we will do that. So, other than that, man, Lucid coming out if we break through 27. We'll let to see if this one wants to ride a little bit. You can see the market fading. So, yeah, Lucid's fading a little bit as well. We'll look to see about that one starting to go back to the upside. So that's going to be a good hold for me on there. And then CCL. I don't know, man. We took a little bit out there at 05, wondering if it was going to break through 26. It did that, but it withheld. So coming back to the upside now, CCL. But again, we can't be a bear and then holding on to some of these longs. So let's look for a short. What is Nike doing? Because yesterday I was surprised. Okay, so yesterday's buy appears to be in the money. So that was a good one. And, you know, it's not that much. We bought at 146.20, I believe. So there's a nice swing play for you. We talked about Nike. We put that on the board yesterday for us as a potential buy, not as a potential buy. I did buy it. I'm waiting for longer term on that. But again, Nike, if you just look at Nike on the daily chart, we pulled back. I don't have the 200 period on here, but we did pull back into the 200 period. And I actually tweeted that out yesterday. Let me find the exact chart for you to show you. It was right here. Here it is. Here's the name and here's what I tweeted out here. Getting the shopping list out. We talked about that. Getting the shopping list out. Buying now on Nike as it touches right there. There's a 200 period. So it was at 144.60. We bought about 146.09 or so. I don't know, 146.25. I'll find out the print, but right there, we like Nike, like the value there. Look, this could go right back down. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Brendan and I also talking yesterday. I know about J&J, and I know Neil's looking at a few names to pick up too. So the shopping list is out yesterday, and let's see if Nike can make the move back to the upside. As right now, man, we are rocking and rolling. This is why you dump out of your CEI, man. CEI going now, and you can see I don't even have to punch out. I barely have any shares. CEI now taking out that 50 level. We actually said we would go long through 50. That move happened way too quick there in 1 minute. So we didn't have the opportunity to go long. But again, this short is not even bleeding my account. So I don't know. We'll get out if it comes back because I do like a 350 break on CEI, and there it is.
so strong, this PALT. So it holds 750, thank goodness. And then it opens up at just 775, I think. It's headed right through 8 even. Just because 750 was a whole price, I might look at an 850 turnaround. If it looks like it's going to do that failed halt, so I'll quickly describe what that means here. If it looks like it's going to do a volatility halt, to the upside of 10% in too short a time span, what will happen is the bid will sort of stack up here and it can't print any higher. If it resists one of those, I would be looking for a short off that. Just if you're familiar with it, that has 15 seconds to either halt or go to the downside. If it does go into that state, I will be looking to short PALT in that kind of a setup. But specifically just that, or right at 850 or right at 10 even. And for 850, I'd have to see it really slow down and lose some momentum. I never got the ad on Dollar Tree, which is ridiculous because I did try it there, DLTR. It popped up, tested, it looked like it was testing 100, got to 99.64, and then turned around. And I tried to chase it down to about 99.45 where my offer sits here. Never got it, so it did make that move that I said I was waiting to add to my position on. I just never got it. It's still consolidating here. The market's still about 0.5% on both the ES and the NASDAQ. So if the market pops up and we break 43.8 and we haven't taken out 100, I might just cover this trade because Dollar Tree is literally one of the strongest stocks that you can find in the market. I was just looking for a bit of a sell at this price level, but I'm only adding in that 99.50 range if I can get it. As I said all that about PALT, it looks like it's showing some signs of weakness, so I might not actually get that shot to short it up at 850 or on a halt. Looks like it's coming down right now.
Yeah, good question there. Dave, was it David? No, Showtime. What's up, Showtime? Showtime XIX. What's up, Showtime? Okay, so, Palantir. Boom, boom, catch one of those. I'll have one of these hot dogs tonight, maybe at the game. Okay, there we go. So right there, out 25s, upside. Right now, it's starting to go. Now there's 23s coming. This is exactly what we talked about, man. So, we'll spin it again then, because, this has been a good day here as it continues to go to the upside. Palantir, look at that buy. What else can we do? We talked about buying that and getting out in the mid-20s. So there's a 25 out. There's another 25 out. So it's just going to keep going. I have layered offers on the way upside. So if this wants to keep breaking next, we'll do that, man. Palantir, nice trade to the upside here. It's still going. Lucid still trying to go. CCL back to positive now as well. It's been such a good day here. CEI as well. We got out of that, man. That's why. There's the break at 50. And we even talked about it early that we would, we did exactly what we said we would do here on the sticky note, right, today, and it was a pretty good one for us. So if you check this out here, look at CEI, what I wrote down. Short if we get to 340. Okay, so let's look at this. Short if we get to 340. Check, right? Out. The only thing that we didn't do was long if it breaks 350. So that just happened way too soon. But there it is, man. You could go 2 for 2 right there. Slay some dragons on CEI because there, where's my cursor? There it is because there's the break of 350 and there's the moonshot up to 370. So we just don't have this break. That's all. But CEI, my #1 stock today, and I hope it's yours as well as we've laid it out. Pretty good for you guys right there on CEI, not CCL. So CEI, Cambridge Energy continues to make moves to the upside. I love what we're about to see right now. That board is looking awfully juicy, especially if you're bullish.
Yeah, what a difference a day makes, guys. Let's have a look at the S&P 500, 0.5% here. For the S&P, a lot of individual names kind of jumping off the board as very, very strong today. A few offsetting. I want to start down here. Communication Services Group. We talked about Netflix, obviously, 4.2%, but look at EA as well, 4.2%. Right beside that, ATVI, TTWO, CHTR, 1.7 to 2.8% in positive territory. Consumer staples are very strong as well. First day in weeks, I want to say, this group getting some attention. CAG, TSN, KHC, all back into positive territory. They've been negative for a while. KR over there as well. 2.2%. Material stocks, energy stocks, notably weak on the day. Not a lot of volume there as well. Information technology, there's a few individual names making moves. NXPI, HPQ, offsetting the software group, which is all in positive territory, about 0.8 to 1.5 to the upside. We talked about DLTR in the pre-market there. It was 6.5%. I thought that was a big move. Now 15% for DLTR. Huge mover so far today. GPS 4.5%, ORL, Y, AZO about 1.5% as well. So retailers, the long or short of the story, it's very, very positive. Healthcare stocks also leading as well. 2.8 here for Eli Lilly, HOLX, DXCM to name a few, 2.5%. So what that means is 0.5% for the S&P as well. Again, individual names kind of offsetting. Otherwise positive showing, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, there's always going to be a few clunkers in this market that are under pressure. And I'm not saying it's a clunker, but there was a question. I know there's a lot of symbols that are getting thrown out in the chat there, and it's impossible for us to cover every single one, but we try to do as many as possible. I did see a question about Square. So as you mentioned that, Brandon, there are a few things that are down. Despite the fact that the market is getting back to the upside and you're seeing a lot of a recovery, you're not seeing it necessarily in Square. Under some pressure here, down 1%. The good news on the daily chart, you have a 237.5 area, which is a bit of support. The bad news is, if my 15-minute chart actually wants to load up, is if you, I have to zoom in so you can see back there it was at 237, but the bad news is you just broke, and you're trying to hold now this 240 level. So it just broke that 240 while the market was making that turn at that key level there, that 43.8 on the ES and the NASDAQ, trying to hold 14.9 as well. And that's all in the midst of Square holding this low. And it's trying to hold it here at 240. If that cracks a few more times here, the market rolls over, yeah, Square could be headed to that 237. I think that's where you might want to pick it up. It's just showing relative weakness. And anything showing relative weakness today, just be patient with. And the things that you note the relative strength on, like some of that retail sector and some of the cyclicals, I think that's where you want to jump into first. Again, that's just my 2 cents. I've been in Vinco Ventures, by the way, and apologies for ignoring this stock, because I'm down to, of course, in that Dollar Tree trade. And Vinco Ventures I've been holding on to. Is it looked at that dip by, we talked about 6 to 625 area, and we dipped it when it got down to 605. It broke the pre-market high, and once it broke that, I was like, okay, we'll just hang on to this thing. It got about 648, 650 the round number, of course, and it's turned back. But it's bouncing off VWAP. So what I want to do here is, if it cannot break 650 on this push to the upside, I'll probably just cover it in the 40s. I want to hold on to it just in case it takes out that 650. It sold off so much from that 780 level, like a couple of really, really big down days, that I want to give it some room. Like if we have this bottom, and a lot of times I'll say, if you have a support level that gets taken out and then immediately reclaimed in one day, sometimes you just throw out all the price action that happened down below it and get right back to that support level and almost ignore everything below that price. So 6 is an obvious stop out, and as long as we've got that low, I want to give it a chance to break out through that high, maybe get to either the 675 level or even up to the 685 where it had some pre-market support in yesterday's trade action. So that's the idea with BBIG. Dollar Tree is again approaching that 100. That could take it out. If it breaks 100, I'm out of Dollar Tree. It's that simple. I don't even want to look at GREE right now. I'm trying to ignore it because it continues to fall. DATS is turning off the 16 even, and I put it in the chat there. There were some actual sellers that were jumping in like the 90s, like tens of thousands of shares, and just showing their order flow and then trying to take those fills. So there is a battle being waged at 16. I didn't like the breakout at 16 even before, but it broke once and failed. It's holding higher lows. If it continues to do that while people are really legitimately selling on volume in front of 16, that could be a lot of shorters making bets, which makes the breakout a little bit better. So this could be a good one potentially for during memes and movers, or like a 130, 230 break on DATS at 16 even, so long as it can hold some of these higher lows and there continues to be a lot of volume here around that 16 level. It's starting to look improved, despite me saying I didn't like it about half an hour ago.
So here we go, man. The cash cow that is Lucid continues. I mean, the damage that we're doing right now in this market. I mean, Lucid, CCL. We just took CCL out again here at 17. Lucid now $1.40, and we're perfect today. AMD. Right? Bang. Big win for us on AMD. Boeing's actually flat. We got out 29 there, so I shouldn't say perfect. We did have a nice in there and then a nice out, but we did dump it as now still going back to the upside right there. CEI is my number. Well, actually, no. CEI is close to my number one stock today, but net-wise, it's right there. The only problem is we have the banger that is Lucid. Actually, I shouldn't say we're perfect today. We do have a loss on GREE, but Lucid right there. Big time mover to the upside, $1.50 now in the money. Hopefully you're enjoying that one. And then there goes Palantir, man, straight up to 30. Ooh, we were offering 30 and we missed it, but that's another offer right here at 30. So hopefully we tip up back side to 30 and get out right there. But hey, What a day. What a day it's been here today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're enjoying it. It's about to get even better with our guest of the day with Brendan.
Gold Royalty Corporation, as we mentioned, is a precious metal-focused royalty, and Ruffalo is CEO and chairman of the company and joins us today to talk a little bit about not only Gold Royalty Corporation, but to educate us a little bit, David. It's great to see you, by the way. Welcome. Educate us on the royalty business. Explain this for some viewers maybe that might be hearing this for the first time. What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, look, if you believe in gold as an asset class, there's a few ways to play that investment. You can buy physical gold or the ETF backed by physical gold, or you can buy gold mining equities, or you can buy a royalty vehicle. And the difference between a royalty vehicle and a mining equity is we completely insulate our shareholders from cost inflation because we get a percentage of the top line, percentage of the revenue. We provide financing to explorers, developers, and operators to build their mines. And we take royalties back as a payment. And these royalties are perpetual. They stay on the deposit for the rest of its mine life. As the deposit grows geologically, then our royalty enjoys the exploration upside. As the gold price goes up, our royalty goes up. So we provide full leverage to the gold price, full leverage to exploration success, but completely insulate ourselves from the cost escalation that I think is a risk in the mining industry.
The company made its $90 million debut on the NYSE American Exchange going back to March of this year. Explain what that means for the company as far as getting more exposure, being on such a big board, if you will, in the NYSE American Exchange.
Well, it provides us depth and access to the deepest pools of capital in the world in the United States. And we did it initially with 17 royalties on development stage assets in the Americas being spun out from an existing mining company called Gold Mining Inc. We raised $90 million and then we merged ourselves with a like-sized company. We came out with a post-money valuation of about 200 million US, merged ourselves with a like-sized company called Elite Gold, and immediately expanded our royalty portfolio fivefold from 17 royalties to over 100 royalties. And then most recently, we announced a three-way merger with two like-sized companies again that'll actually double our size again. So we've gone from a $200 million market cap to 400 and will be $800 million when we complete this three-way merger in November.
And that is, again, going to bring some more attention to the company. And this is just in September, this latest announcement and merger and deal was announced. So what does that mean going forward as far as we move into Q4 coming up here? Talk a little bit about that, what that means for some indexes starting to take a look at gold royalty.
Well, not only do we increase in scale in terms of our market cap, but it does engender index buying. We graduated the GDXJ Van Eck Vector Fund. It's a gold fund. And that saw some passive buying when we graduated to that a couple of months after our IPO. These two mergers have not been reflected in the rebalancing of that index yet. The next rebalance occurs in December. So we'll have increased our size fourfold from when we were initially included on that index back in May. And so that means significant index buying will occur in December when that rebalance occurs.
Just to wrap things up here, David, let's maybe take a wider look here at the overall market because gold has been pretty exciting trade overall this year. How much does the price of gold come into play here? And also give us maybe a 3 to 6 month window of what the company is looking at down the road.
Well, look, I think the gold price is poised for a significant break upwards. And really what's driving it is lower interest rates for longer, continued quantitative easing, a competitive debasement of fiat currencies globally in order to debase the debt. There's no government in this world right now that can fiscally responsibly pay their debt back. So they're going to debase their currencies in order to debase the debt. They're going to inflate their way out of debt. Gold is an accurate barometer of that kind of inflation. I think we're all experiencing double-digit inflation now. If you're trying to buy a house, fill up your tank with gas, buy food, we are experiencing dramatic inflation. And gold has always done extremely well in that type of environment because of its perception over 4 millennia as the ultimate currency. Can't be printed like fiat currency. And I think gold in this cycle could achieve $3,000 an ounce. And that's the real all-time high. If you go back to the last big inflation cycle back in the 70s, when we had $850 an ounce, you inflation adjust that to 2021 dollars, that's $3,000 an ounce. And I see that type of upside in this cycle.
Even, this week we've seen gold bouncing back nicely as we've seen the U.S. 10-year making moves in the same direction. So more to come, as we say, as far as this market is concerned. GROY, guys, on the NYSE American Exchange. David Garofalo, CEO and chairman of Gold Royalty. A pleasure, sir. Best of luck. There we go, guys. Gold Royalty Corporation, as we said, GROY.
Everything gold, as gold member says. And I like that call, man. I mean, $3,000. If we take $3K on gold, watch out now. But yeah, a great company, a great way to get into the space. Thank you to Brendan again for such a great interview. So look into that company. Makes a lot of sense to me. And while we were gone, a little bit more on Palantir. I mean, it goes right back into these levels and we take it out. So right now we have that 25% left of this position, and Palantir is now out right there. We took out CC. I mean, look at CCL, man. CCL rips to the same levels and we just keep getting them out. So this has been Scalp City today. We've had some bangers, some long ones, some short ones. But overall, man, it's going to be a great day. Thank you so much for watching. And I mean, if you haven't hit the like yet, I mean, Valeria will come back on again, but 2.3 right now. If we can get that to 2.5, 4,300 people watching. Like, let's see if we can't get. I would love to get to $3,000 again. We have to make one of those things, one of those bets again, where if we get it, then Valeria will put her hair X color, things like that.
They have one on Memes and Movers.
Yeah, they do. But come on. We'll see if we can get it right here on that one. Yeah, Memes and Movers, I think they need 5,000 or 6,000 likes. There, we can get that on this show. So let's hit the likes today. Let's see if we can get close to $3,000. I mean, we can't. I honestly, I almost can't trade any better than I have been today. And I hope it's been an entertaining show as well. So thank you for the support and thank you for the continued love, guys.
It's not Palantir, but it is PALT. And if anyone watching this, there is an absolute monster war going on here. At 9:10, there was a refresher on the offer, and it's been there the entire interview for at least like 10 minutes now. And then there's been buyers at the 870 range.
Palt.
Now, I am short in Palt here, and I'm right in the middle. I got a 91 short. So, look, I'm not letting it break that 910. I have been covering some in front of that 70 buyer just to trim the position, because the longer it holds up here, I mean, the more violent the move could get. I'm going to cancel. I had a 60 bid, but I mean, if it breaks 70 at this point, I'll go 50s and then down to like 25s or so to get some profit. But if it breaks the high, there's two things that are likely to happen. One, it either halts to the upside, it gets to $10. That's kind of like the same thing. Or it's going to be the ultimate failed break. And I'm not going long on reversing at this level. I'm going with the potential for an ultimate failed break. And if it's going to be a failed break off of this level, then I want to be jamming back into the short position. So I do have a stop at 910. You can actually see it displayed. It's literally crossing up to 950 at that 910 goes. And then I'm just going to, if it stops out, doesn't go more than like 10, 20 cents and immediately rejects, within that 870 to 910 range, I wouldn't chase it any further. I'd just jump right back into the short, ideally at 890 like we had before, put a stop at high of the day, rinse and repeat. Now, that's just me planning for the worst of it. Right now, I am short. I have been taking profit on it, so far it is so good. I can't say the same for Dollar Tree, which broke that 100. Like I said, if it broke 100, I'm out of that one. But this is 910. Here it comes again. I'm ready for this one if it's a fail break.
All right, 2.4K likes. Thank you so much. And I want to give a big shout out to Bradley Taylor. Now opened his Day Trade the World office. So welcome to the jungle, my friend, Bradley Taylor. You're about to see everything that we offer here at Day Trade the World. So a big congratulations to you and your office and your traders. So that should be a good one. And obviously, if you're watching the show, hopefully you can get some strategies as well from us. Yeah, Lucid just dumped. So we got out of Lucid. I don't know what happened there. It dumped down again, a very, very small piece, but it dumps to 27. Nice little move to the downside there for LCID. Maybe if you haven't picked any up, sorry, get that out of there. Maybe now it would be a good idea to do that, but there goes Lucid breaking through. We should have put it at view up, but really we were just waiting for this to break and gave it to 27. Wow, this is why. Neil talked about it earlier about having outs, and I believe it was about Palt or was it Gree?
Big time Palt.
One of them anyways, Gree, Palt, they're all the same for us today. Look at Lucid though. Now crack. That's why you got to get out, because if you don't take profit, sure, we were a little bit, I mean, the way the day was going, we could have topped it off. You'd have a couple more bucks in our pocket upside if we got out, but we're letting it fly, but you got to have those outs. There comes the downside right now, is Lucid. I'm flat on everything. I have a small flyer now on Palantir. The minute that came up to 30, we emptied the boat out there. We emptied out CCL on the top as well. So right now we're pretty flat, and it's been such a huge day for us. So thank you so much for watching. We are going to get ready to throw it over in a couple minutes. We still have to find out if there's any earnings tomorrow and what day it is. But Memes and Movers, such a big show, and it's been a very, very good success. And thank you to everybody who's been watching Memes and Movers. That's going to be with Trader Prad. You can drop some ideas to him or some names, and we'll look at them with Prad and Miss V. You don't have to look at the three of our faces anymore.
A little bit longer, though.
A little bit longer.
And then back at Power Hour, of course.
Yeah, we'll be back at 3, and there might be more changes on that one coming as well. Brennan, let's wrap this.
Only this one, guys. BBBY, worth talking about today. It's a pretty slow one, but could be interesting tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean, the play, the same thing will always be true for that. As long as it has a heavy short interest and you know volatility is around that 10% mark, implied at least. So it's going to be worth a watch. I'm still glued to PALT. It didn't give that re-entry trade, but like I said, always have a stop. That's me taking my stop every time. That's the only way you can be positive going against the grain on a stock like this, is to take it out. And if it gets to 10, I'm watching for it. If it halts down, I'm definitely going to be watching for that one as well. Vinco looks like it's pretty good. Bed Bath & Beyond, that could be worth a trade at the end of the day as well. Like if we come back at Power Hour and we see imbalances, we see moves on Bed Bath & Beyond, it's the only thing to watch at the at the close when it comes to an earnings standpoint. But we do one other thing before we actually
I just want to
head
show
it off here. Oh, you want to show the short interest? Is it still
okay? 45. So they have it as 45 on. Shout out to Trade Ideas, Michael Noss. I think he's on this Friday. I don't know. He'll come back anyways. Shout out to Trade Ideas. They do have some interesting things. There it is. September 30th pre-market with like a huge shortable interest on that one. Come back at 3 o'clock. I'll make my call for what I think Bed Bath & Beyond and where it's going to go. That was one of my best earning calls of all time. Was Bed Bath & Beyond not too long ago. And we've had some bangers recently, including BlackBerry and a few others. Are we going anywhere right now? Over to V, I guess. What's up, V?
Hey guys, time flies, and I think it was a wonderful start of the trading day. It's a positive day, and I hope you found a lot of great opportunities for yourself, guys. Well, thank you very much for 2,400 likes. Thank you for all the kind words, super chats, and of course, welcome all the new members and all subscribers. Dear viewers, we love you. And of course, as usual, me and Prad can wait for you to join our Memes and Movers show right after this live show. You can find the link in the chat or just stay and you'll be automatically transferred to us. And this is a great day, I guess. Happy National Coffee Day, everyone.
That's
coffee, I never heard of it.
Nice and simple.
Never heard of it.
Nice and simple.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Every day's coffee day, though.
Yeah,
Every day.
yeah. Shout out to if you know who this is, put this in the chat. I don't have Valeria sitting beside me right now, so and then a shout out to OTC Markets because they know. This is a Yeti right there. So yeah, enjoy your coffee. This is still loaded up.
The Yeti is.
I Ubered in this morning. And I just wasn't sure because you have to wear your mask, and I wasn't sure if I should be drinking or anything out of this. So basically, this is still full, which is good. This is McDonald's beans. So I prefer McDonald's over Tim Hortons any day.
I'm with that too, but hey, it's Monopoly time at McDonald's. I think.
Yeah, I heard that.
So that's coming in.
Is that October 1st, or maybe it's on now?
And Valeria was talking about this, but on Memes and Movers, maybe they'll talk about it again. There's a fantastic Netflix on that scandal with the McDonald's prizes. If you haven't checked that out, it's crazy. Most people don't know about it, but it was quite the extravagant, network that dude had with those McDonald's prizes. Anyways,
Mr. Cheese.
Yeah, you guys know Mr. Cheese. That's what it's all about. That's probably still piping hot. That my Yeti is.
Yeah, probably.
It's almost too good.
I mean, this is also. This is from Among Us. Anybody that knows that game. My kid got a whole bunch of stickers, of course. And there it is. So it's a kind of a Green Bay / Among Us thing here. So, okay, let's wrap this thing up.
Why not? We're about to head off. It's 11 o'clock. We'll be back at 3, of course, for Power Hour. But you guys are heading straight to Memes and Movers. We got Trader Prad, we got Ms. V, and the market is green.
See ya.
Yo, I'm your host, Trader Prad. This is Miss V, the beautiful Miss V.
Thank you, Prad. And hey, guys, thank you very much for joining our midday show. Please be active on the chat. Ask us anything you want. Write what you trade or maybe what you want us to take a look